Yes.
And we're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul. And as usual, we are joined by the person that we can't seem to keep away. He seems to be popping up in every orifice that he can get access to. It is the captain himself, Captain Goodwill. That is his new name.
Captain Goodwill.
Hello, Captain. And we are joined
everyone's orifice
by a first timer. Ooh. The lovely Sarah from the Nerdy Up North group, who you might have seen many posting, and especially in the Discord, where she does like to chirp in and tell us a lot about herself as well. So, Sarah, give us, with you being your first time, I know I threw you under the bus a little bit just before we went live. Tell us a little bit about yourself there.
I have a few little nerdy things that I go on about every now and then. You might have seen me go by Sarah Peach in Facebook or Discord.
Mm-hmm.
The Peach is a nickname that I've had for like years and years and years. Came as a result of me misspeaking one time, and it really, really stuck. I was talking about one of my nerdies, which is like 90s music, especially Britpop.
Cool.
So I was very much into like the Manic Street Preachers, and I said the Manic Street Peaches one day, and that is literally where that came from.
Oh.
That is literally it.
Right.
I often say that I'm small, ginger, and fuzzy as well.
So well, that would work as well. So,
Yeah,
are you related to Goodwill by any chance? It's Goodwill's long lost sister.
Not that I know of.
Reuniting there, reunited again. But yes, so Sarah has been so kind, just because, like I say, she does listen to the podcast, and she normally does chirp in with the Discord afterwards to talk about. So I thought, I'm going to push her buttons and let's see if we can get her on. So yes, it's going to turn into one of them, I guess. But yes, so she has been very kind and been very brave, bless her, and coming on to join us for tonight's episode. And just before we start as well, I just want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Like I say, I hope everyone's been spoiled rotten. All the MILFs out there, so thank you. And I hope you had a nice day, Mrs. Weatherall, Sammy's mum.
I knew it.
Hi.
She had the best day. She had it with me, so
She would have had a better day with me, love, trust us.
Wow. We are 3 minutes in.
Lock up your mothers, guys.
That's probably how long I would last as well, don't worry.
It happens before the 3-minute mark, let's be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what happens when he doesn't have moonshiners anymore.
Oh, the moonshiners are gone. I've lost it.
The MILF shiner.
That's actually a good segue.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
For the Sunday question, which
Right.
Goodwill, bless his heart, tried to pull out on Tuesday. But it's a Sunday question, Goodwill.
Yeah.
Because it's the end
You
of the
got pulled
week.
the fuck off.
Right, can we not mention orifices or pulling out, please? Because I'm getting a reputation now.
It's already on the chat, Goodwill. Everyone's talking about it. So, hi everyone in the chat. But the big question is, how are you doing and what you've been watching?
Not too
How
bad.
are yous?
So we'll let our lovely guest start this one off. So
How
Sarah,
are you doing, Sarah?
how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm tired. I've had a busy day, but yes, overall,
Very
excited, nervous for tonight. But...
Yes.
Yay.
That's what we like to do. Keep them nerves. But yes.
It's been a busy month for live gigs for me. I've been to the Clooney several times this month.
God, the Clooney, I haven't heard that for a long time.
I haven't been
there
for
for
ages, and
years.
all of a sudden I'm there 4 times this month. Watching wise, I've been my son has recently got an obsession with Dance Monsters on Netflix,
All right.
which is like a reality show, and I don't like reality shows, but I'm kind of into it now.
It's what it does, Sarah. It suckers you in.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just kind of like professional, semi-professional TikTok dancers who don't have the self-confidence to appear face-to-face on the stage. They get a CGI-generated monster allocated to them, and this monster dances on stage, and there's like a big money prize at the end of it.
How do we get Goodwill involved in this?
Oh, for God's sake.
Yes.
I think you'll have to contact Ashley Banjo on that one.
Right.
Oh,
I'll get his
look at
email. So, anyone got any contacts with Ashley Banjo? An idea.
I just want to talk about Star Trek. Leave me alone.
Oh, Captain Goodwill, behave. Oh, sorry.
So other than Dance Monsters, Sarah, anything else that's taken your fancy?
I watched The Law According to Lydia Poet recently,
Oh,
which is a new one on Netflix. It's based on the true story of the first female lawyer in Italy.
all right.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I haven't done too much reading on the real person, to be honest. I just know it's based on her. And the character in the show goes around. She gets disbarred as the first female lawyer because, women can't do anything at the time. Bearing in mind this is the 1880s.
Oh dear.
Oh my God, what a time to wow.
Yeah. So she got disbarred after qualifying and helps her brother solve mysteries.
All right.
And
So,
her brother is already a lawyer.
Oh.
cool. So it's like a
Oh.
Eleanor Holmes type thing, but actually real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I doubt that the mysteries she solves are real, but
I don't know. I
Oh,
still
so
I
cool.
still think in my head Sherlock Holmes is still real to me. It's like
Is
that
he
whole
not?
Sorry.
Is he not?
Please tell us you whining us up.
I am joking.
I'm not biting with that one.
I am joking.
So Captain Goodwill, what have you been watching, good sir? And how are you? Other than
are
being
you?
abused and being the most
Dying. Sorry.
the most like broadcast person from the nerdy up north ever. How many
You are
how many days have you been on?
taking our mantle.
How many days
This
have you
is-
been live this week?
This is the 5th day I have been
The
live
hell
for
Goodwill.
Nerdy Up North. Sleep is but a myth. But I have watched content,
Content.
being obviously the Last of Us finale,
Mm-hmm.
which we discussed at length last
Yes.
Tuesday. Please go back and watch that.
Mhm.
And finally, I caught up on The Mandalorian.
I was going to watch the latest episode today, but I realised it was an hour, and I was like, "Shit, I'm doing this in half an hour." So, because the few of the episodes have only been half an hour long, haven't they?
They've
Yeah.
been all over the place. Like the first episode was 32 minutes, so I was just
Yeah.
like, why bother? And then the second one was a more reasonable, like I think it was like 45, 50 minutes, and then this one was an hour.
Mhm.
I think this is a very weak season.
I think it's trying to find its feet again after like the thing. But I loved the second episode. I thought was very much in very
Oh, yeah, it was a good
feel
episode.
of Return of Oz feels for some reason. I don't know why, but I did
Because
get
of
the
the
vibe.
emeralds.
Possibly the emeralds and
Yeah.
going under the underground city and these monsters kind of chasing them down, and then the TikTok man and stuff like that. But no, I enjoyed that one. But again, I think it's going to be a transitional season, shall we say, for the Mandalorian, because the first two was just basically to get Grogu back to where they are, and now it's basically to find to recapture Mandalore type thing. But
I have heard on the grapevine that Filoni has been teasing a crossover event in the future with the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, etc., etc. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, but we're in that sort of period universe-wise
Yeah.
on the TV, so could be fun. It could be very Clone Warsy, but apart from The Mandalorian, like I said, I've been on Nerdy Up North 4 times on a podcast, once on Twitch. Other than that, though, really, not much. Not much this week.
And I just want to
busy creating.
Yeah, I just want to do a disclaimer as well. We don't force Goodwill into doing this. We do force him into doing certain things, but this was his choice.
I want my family back, Paul.
It would have been more believable if I kidnapped your dog.
Shout out to my mother, Happy Mother's Day. Shout out to my grandmother, Happy Mother's Day.
Look at him being all soft and sweet.
No, that is sweet.
You twat.
Goodwill.
But yes. So, Sammy, what have you been watching?
Oh, have I been watching? What have I not been watching? No. On Tuesday, I forced my husband into watching A League of Their Own.
Right.
the Tom Hanks film because it is just fucking phenomenal.
Mhm.
I finished my second run of one of my choices tonight, so I'm not going to mention it. But what Ant watched, and I was catching bits and pieces of it, was the Netflix documentary on the aeroplane that went missing
All right.
in
Oh,
Malaysia.
yeah.
Oh, NH370, I think.
Yeah,
I saw a
wow.
trailer for it, yeah.
From what I watched, wow, that's a lot. He watched the end of it, and I was like, "Was there a conclusion?" And he was like, "No."
Well, they didn't find it, so
It's like, oh, well, that's a shame.
yeah.
We watched the first episode of The Mandalorian because
Mhm.
we are a little bit behind. I have not seen the final episode of Last of Us.
Right. So it's a good job he didn't come on
Because-
Tuesday then.
Well, no, if I was coming on Tuesday, I would have watched it on Tuesday. But with Ant's birthday, I didn't
Mhm.
get a chance to, and I forced him to watch A League of Their Own. So
Yes.
here you go. You
All
got
right.
Vicky
So
Valls.
so with his birthday, you make him watch stuff you want to watch. Is that how this works there?
Yes, that's our
And
household.
come and live with me. I'll rest.
Just so he knows who's boss, Paul. That's what it is.
Bless.
But now
I
I've
allowed you to live
started,
one more year.
now I've finished my second run of that one. I've started the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, I like that.
But me and Anne started watching it when it first came out, and I just dropped off. Just not purpose, like not because I wasn't enjoying it. I just dropped off it.
Mhm.
And with the new series and final season coming out this year, I thought I'll go back to the beginning and start. And do you know what? It's like I never watched it. I can't remember any of it. So it's a good job. I'm going back.
Bless you.
But that is what I have been watching this week.
Ah, very cool. Now, like I say, you'll be sad to hear I am still staying away from the Moonshiners. I haven't made a return as of yet because, let's be honest, I'm falling out of love with another, and I want to keep the memory fresh and like the love there for the Moonshiners all my life there. So, shout out to the Moonshiners. But I have been watching something new. And it's not on Discovery Plus, people, so that's a bit of a surprise.
Jake will be disappointed.
I become a little bit obsessed with this and watched the 2 seasons in one day, stopping up till 5 o'clock in the morning. One day, actually watching because I needed to know how it ended. Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I didn't realize how fucking good this show was.
So good. We watched it last year, just like literally the same as you, one after the other, because I was devastated. I couldn't actually get the link for the last episode of season 2 for nearly a week after it came out, and I was heartbroken. It's so good.
No, more than anything, the writing within it was absolutely brilliant, and the characters. Because I was worried it was just going to be another footballers' wives. That which again,
I got that.
when you see the trailers and like all the different avenues, you think, oh, I don't know if I can actually handle that because the footballers' wives took you on a journey. Like say, from
that I feel that you went on.
Yeah, well, funny enough though, claim to fame with his living at spending a lot of time in Manchester at the time that this was getting filmed. I used to drink in the pub with a lot of the people that were in the show. So.
Oh God! Right, okay. So you felt you had an obligation to watch it.
Yeah, and that in Hollyoaks, there was a few people from Hollyoaks who used to drink in the bars that I used to frequent. Bombhead's only about this big. He's nearly as tall as you, Sarah, so don't worry. But yes, and Fizz is a bit of a bitch from Corrie, just put that out there.
Non-exclusive.
Unexclusive there. But yes, but yeah, it's just it is an adult comedy because there is some fruity language, like say that my dad didn't approve of when I was telling him about today. Same reason he doesn't watch the podcast. But yes, the writing and the storytelling, it's very wholesome and very
Beautiful.
like say just makes you want to do better. I think that's the best way I can put it.
He does. He completely put a smile on my face. Like Jason Sudeikis was just it didn't wear thin. So that like whole persona could have really wore thin really quickly, and it doesn't. I am absolutely like head over heels in love with him. Roy Kent, even Jamie. Even Jamie, he's an arsehole, but he kind of he's a bit of a lovable arsehole as well.
Yeah, I fell in love with Sam as well. He was just so adorable.
He's just so cute. But the underlying story that goes with the whole series is just It's phenomenal. It is such a shout out to men's mental health.
Yeah.
It's done in such a beautiful way. I love it. We're waiting for the third series to finish, and we will literally just binge it.
Yes. So yes, starting on without the weird and wonderful. So sorry guys, I'll try and watch something strange for next week's episode. I promise.
Please do. I mean, come on. This is what the people are wanting.
This is what Lee and Christoph get off on the night outs. Paul and his moonshiners. But saying that though, I do have something of yours that Grant's given me, so I'll just keep this here just to make sure that
I've got
your jacket here, Sammy. So if it gets cold, I might wear it. Grant did actually dare us to wear it with nothing else. I was like, no, I'm not getting done for that. I'm not getting that type of feedback.
Do you know what, though? I'd still wear it. Thanks for having my coat.
Yes. So we'll give you it for Nerdfest. But yes,
yeah.
So get the plugs in as well. Like I say, we are going to be hosting the cosplay competition. We are going to be naming the judges later this evening as well, because I won't be partaking as a judge. I am taking a step back because, to be honest, don't really know too much about cosplay, and I'll probably just pick the one that looks the prettiest, and that's probably not fair. So just putting that out there. But yes, we've got some people that are experts in a lot of different aspects. Like I say, Goodwill is going to be one of our judges, and he is our sci-fi nerd. We've got Sam, who is like the Game of Thrones fantasy nerd, and we might have one or two others, so I'll let them come out for the surprises later on. But yes. So, are you going to do your disclaimer that I butchered? But like, they're trying to do it though. Like no one else has done it for you though.
Charlotte's done it before.
All right, sorry.
Charlotte's done it once before, but you sounded brilliant. It wasn't BBC worthy, but it was good. I joke. I was
going to make a really bad comment there. I thought, no, that'll get me cancelled totally. So
text us it later. So everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group where we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Well done, yes. And she didn't say the C word in it, so it's always better there.
No, but I finally nailed the Game of Thrones opening, and instead of just like living in it and like, you've done it, I just went, fuck yeah.
And you will get to check that out on our Patreon. Please, it's only £2 and you can watch Sammy say fuck yeah. If that gets your rocks off, that'll be like say content.
It's great content.
But yes. So tonight's episode is our top 5 American sitcoms. Now, I thought this was going to be really, really easy. And it's been a complete minefield. It's probably changed. My top 5 has changed more this week than any others. Even to the point of half an hour before we went live, I was taking ones out and putting ones in.
If anyone caught us at the beginning and my face lit up, that was me changing it up pick.
But I tell you what, though, I know I'm going to go all mushy and soft here. What a nice memory lane to think about these as well, because I think
definitely
with these ones, it's like a nice warm blanket. It's like the comfort zone here. And that's what I felt when I was thinking about these, because normally, like, when you think about your top 5s, it's like a pressure on. You think, why does this mean this too much to us? And you think, oh, like all the nice memories. I've not had a bad memory or bad thought about anything I've thought about this week, like why I'm picking these, or it's just made us smile a lot. And I don't know about you guys.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And what made me smile even more is that my husband picked my top 5.
Oh.
But we were talking about it last night, and I've had like a list like running through my head, and I was just, you know what, I'm just going to have to narrow it down. And I said to him, top 5 American sitcoms, and he went, what for you? And he just listed all 5, and he went, and it just goes to show how well he actually knows us.
Oh, bless him.
He got all 5 straight away.
And you don't let him watch his own things on his birthday. That's harsh. But yeah. But yes, so how did you find it, Sarah? With it being your first time doing a live top 5 rather than being in the audience, shall we say?
I think I've faced similar to you, but it got to a point where I just kind of had to leave it and went, right, that's it, or I will be changing it right up to the end. I had a top 10.
Right.
and I kept swapping them in and out, in and out. And no, a couple of days ago, I went, right, this is my final list. I've got a few notes on each of them. I'm going to leave it at that and ignore the list for a couple of days because it will just, I'll be in every 5 minutes changing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Because I normally go with like the first five that does come in my head, but with this, it wasn't the five that like came into my head. It was like 10, 20, and then when I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that one. And like even talking to my dad today, like ones I was talking about, like I don't know if you remember. Well, to be fair, Goodwill now would not be able to remember because he's a young and us oldies being all 40 and stuff or nearly 40. The Paramount Comedy Channel before it started just showing Friends used to have all the old like sitcoms like Taxi. Sorry if anyone's picks his Wings and like say Soap. Fucking Soap was brilliant, by the way.
Soap was that was such a good one.
But yeah,
wow, that's just like come flooding back to us there.
yeah, but no, all them different things were just absolutely like just little memories and little nostalgia pockets that just popped and like say like something I needed I think this week because I'll be honest, I've had a shit week, let's be honest. Mental health wise it's been a tough one for a lot of people, and like say I'm not one of these people that's ashamed to say that I've struggled this week, but thinking about doing this and thinking about these things has really helped and made things. So this is going to be my therapy tonight, so I do apologize.
This is no, don't ever apologize. This is what we're here for. We are a nerdy therapy session. This is where you get to hash out everything.
But yes, I like say when I've thought about these picks as well, like say bringing back good emotions and nice emotions as well. So I'm quite excited, but again, I'm not going to be selfish for once. I'm going to be I am going to be very nice. So I'm going to let our lovely new guest go first. So Sarah, you get the number one pick.
Number one pick. All right. The first one I've chosen it's one of the earliest ones I can remember actually seeing an episode of. And it reminds me of my grandma. Because of the subject of it, and it was something that I actually watched with her quite a lot. You know, it's your traditional like it's funny, it's soppy, it's heartfelt. It did tackle a few taboos as well, which I think is what I found is one of the themes that I've got going through mine tonight. There are things in there which shouldn't be heartfelt, but the ones that I've chosen do have their moments of going headfirst into like the harder stuff.
I feel that we may have the same list.
I mean, there are a lot of sitcoms that do that as well, though. So they do kind of go into it. But I mean, the one that I've chosen, it shows that no matter what age you are, you can move away, stay single, date, be promiscuous, but still have great friends, like people around you who love you and you love them. And it's kind of like a version of the ultimate adopted family that leans into you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends.
Yeah.
Or you can choose your cult.
You can choose your cult, yeah.
No, we can't.
Well, you can't, but
go on, Sarah.
My first pick is The Golden Girls.
Oh, wow. God damn it! It's on my list.
Sing the theme tune now.
I was actually gonna. That's how I was gonna start it. I was gonna sing the theme tune, but yes, Golden Girls is on my list.
You can still sing it if you want.
Sing it.
I've hyped it up now. We might get it in a bit, but yeah, it's on my list too.
And I've actually, I was quite upset when I found that I couldn't find my Golden Girls t-shirt, so I've worn this, which to some may be a link.
Yes. I get it.
As some of you may or may not know, B. Arthur's image appeared on a t-shirt in the Deadpool movie.
Yes.
And reportedly, Ryan Reynolds paid quite a large amount of money to B. Arthur's favourite charity in order to use her image. And again, it's kind of like sticking to that authenticity because Deadpool himself in the comics was a big Golden Girls fan.
Yes.
And I just really appreciate the fact that they allowed him to use it for like a charitable donation.
Hmm.
I mean, one of my all-time favorite actresses is Betty White.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again, it's the first thing I saw her in, and
Hmm.
I fell in love with that. And the
Oh,
I
and
can't really say enough good
Yeah,
things
she's
about Betty White.
to be fair though,
she.
I was a Blanche fan, but for obvious reasons. So.
Oh,
I've got bits and bobs about them I want to say though, because
Mhm.
it's
Hmm.
at one point it was blamed for creating a whole generation of gay men.
Right.
It very much
Thank you,
was.
Golden Girls.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I'm going to say this is sarcastically in case it doesn't come across, but how dare they give an entire generation the idea that being gay is okay?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's an episode that I'd like to follow the gay statement up with, and it's Blanche's brother
Hmm.
announced that he
Yeah.
was going to marry another man.
Hmm.
And at the time, it's kind of like the 80s. It's kind of like, is
Yeah.
that right? Is that not right? I
Mhm.
mean, some places are still like that now, but I don't want to go into the politics side of that.
Yeah.
But Sophia turned around and said to him, everybody wants someone to grow old with. Shouldn't everyone have that chance?
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I just think it's a great, like, it's kind of like an acceptance
Hmm.
yeah.
and an FU to the people who didn't like that statement
Yeah.
at the same time. So it's kind of like, but it's not the only like example of stuff like that.
Hmm.
Blanche, again, you could see her as like a sex educator.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
massively.
Yeah.
Um, she was sex positive.
Mhm.
She hooked up with lots of different men. But at the same time, she stood up and taught us that women, especially older women, could do that, and it was that again was okay. And again, there's like my example for that one is they all went to the store to buy condoms one time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Sorry.
going to say,
Of course
don't you,
I
Sammy?
do. Of course. There's a
They
reason
went to
this
the
is on
store
my
to buy
list for.
condoms, and typically, like, they were at the till and there was a price check on these condoms. So there was an announcement over the tannoy, can we have a price check on these condoms? And obviously, four older women standing at the till and like people were walking past giving them like dodgy looks and things like that.
Yeah.
But then Blanche takes the tannoy and basically gives a speech on like, being safe and, sexual responsibility and stuff like that. And I just thought, you know what?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good for her.
There's no shame in it that
No.
in
There's
the
not.
fact that
No,
they are
not at
going out
all.
and buying the condoms in the first place.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's kind of it's going back to that. There was a time when like sexually transmitted diseases were absolutely rife in care
Yeah.
homes and like homes for the elderly
Mhm.
because they thought they
Yeah.
didn't need to use that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's kind of reflecting on that.
Mhm. No, I say it's a great pick as well because like if you think about it, with the type of show it was groundbreaking, and they would like say showing all the ladies like in a different light that they've probably never been shown before. And I'll go as far as to say we wouldn't have shows like Sex in the City if it wasn't for the
Oh
Golden
no.
Girls.
No, not at all. Um, yeah, and I mean, even then, it's like it's incredibly funny, and it wasn't afraid of the controversy. Um, there was that heart-hitting stuff with that mix of funny and heartwarming stuff, and again, it was like a fuck you to we will say what we want, and
Mhm.
I like that attitude in people.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot more older women should have that attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are that older
Um,
generation now, though. So
We are
that's
that older
Yeah.
generation, and I am going to swear my head off when I am in a care home.
Fuck yeah.
I
Yes.
will tell you what I think. Um, there was one more thing that I wanted to touch on as well, because I think it was an important thing because of the tabooness of the subject in the 80s. And there was an episode where Rose, Betty White's character, actually thought that she might have AIDS.
Oh
Right,
God,
yes.
it's so sad.
It's such a sad episode.
Such a
And
sad
the thing
episode.
And the thing is, it's kind of like it was massively taboo. It was seen as shameful. It was
Yeah.
literally a death sentence
Mhm.
for people at the time who had that.
Mhm.
But I mean, again, it was Blanche again. She came forward and she said, it's not a bad person's disease.
Yeah. It was such an educational episode. And you've got to remember these episodes are 20, 25 minutes long. There's not a lot of time to fit in the message that they want to portray. But that episode is so powerful
Yeah.
because Rose acts like that's it, it's over, can't touch anyone, can't do this, can't do that. Like, and Blanche is like, you need to educate yourself. That was the premise of everything, is educate yourself.
Education.
And it was such a fantastic episode.
I think the women involved with this show as well, they had very much like a lot of
Massive
control
say.
of and a massive say of what went out, what they wanted to do. As soon as that kicked off, like I remember, like it used to be Friday nights. It used to be on, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Because it used to be like because Friday
I had
nights used to be the used to be the American sitcom night, because that's where like Friends got like started out, and like everything used to go on Channel 4 on a Friday night. But they used to, like I said, they used to have certain episodes on at 7 o'clock, but like the hard hitting ones used to be on always a bit later.
Yeah.
But I still remember, because like it used to be a show I used to watch with my mum, and
Yeah.
I didn't get half the jokes or half the humor, because I don't think I was the target audience. Let's be honest. But I just remember like the energy and like the the magic they had between all four of them. All four of them had the elements where it was like you would never be able to get that chemistry again. Like if you
No.
picked four people and tried to get them in a room, like each one of them, like B. Arthur was just stalwart. Like you looked at her and she had a presence, and she had like star. Like everything she did was just pure star, like, and I just give her credence. And Betty White was just a lovable, like one you just wanted to give a cuddle to, and she had that career that she never changed, and like elements to it as well. But no, I was hoping, like say, the Golden Girls would. Well, I probably knew it was Sammy. But I'm glad it's like say that one of the first ones that came out the shed as well.
I'll take my pick next, which is the Golden Girls.
Yep. So why does the Golden Girls for you then, Sammy?
Honestly, it's been such a staple since I can remember. I can't pinpoint when I found it, but I've just constantly gone back, and I have never been so fucking happier when it came on Disney Plus, because it is the hardest goddamn show to find on streaming platforms. Especially if you want to watch it in order and you know the order. Like, don't get us wrong, every episode is something completely different, but when you know the order of that show and it's not, and it totally messes you up. So I was so happy that Disney Plus have it. It is just such a pioneering series for its time. The language that they use, the subjects that they cover, these women knew exactly what they were doing. Exactly what they were doing in that series. I go down massive rabbit holes when I get involved with the Golden Girls. I love the fact that they're all the same age. If not, actually, I think Rue McClanahan was actually younger. She was probably the youngest out of all of them. There wasn't that much age difference between Estelle Getty and B. Arthur. But Estelle Getty did go and do the naughty and got a facelift, and the studio went fucking crazy because she's meant to look older than B. Arthur, when in actual fact, if you took the makeup off, she looks a hell of a lot younger than her. I love the chemistry between the women. I love Rue McClanahan so much. That Southern Belle, that you know where that woman's come from. She's from the South. You know the values of how she grew up. But that is not the person that you see living in that house. She grows, she expands, she's just, she's absolutely phenomenal. So when the series ended, because B. Arthur left, the last series, she started to dwindle out of it, and they tried to revive it with a hotel. I don't know if any of you have seen the series, but they move into a hotel, and it's not called the Golden Girls anymore. It's called something like the Golden Hotel or something, or the Golden Times. It's something like that. And they go and work in a hotel, and it's just the three of them: Estelle Getty, Rue McClanahan, and Betty White. And Don Cheadle, a very, very young Don Cheadle, works in the hotel with them, and they have one of the most powerful scenes with about racism.
Yeah, because the one about the flag, isn't it? About the flag.
It's the Confederate flag episode, yes. And obviously, you know where Blanche comes from. and that flag has a different meaning to her than what it does for Don Cheadle's, and it's such a powerful scene. But I love everything about this show. I genuinely thought that this would be me one that wasn't going to be on anyone's list. I really honestly did. But the minute you started saying ahead of its time, groundbreaking, women, and then I was like, all right, okay, this is my first pick. But I'm really pleased that you did, because honestly, I pioneer for this show. Like I've got my husband watching it. I am begging my sister to watch it. She got me birthday a couple of years ago. She got me mouse mats, placemats with all the women on it. So I have a lot of Blanches and Rue and Betty White's all out of my house just to put your cups on.
This one was always on my list. This one never moved off it.
All right.
Apart from my number one pick, this is the second one Anth said that I would pick would be the Golden Girls. I just absolutely adore it. It is so lighthearted in some cases. Even when they're talking about the nitty-gritty, like it's still lighthearted and funny. The fact that they could call each other sluts and got away with it. Like they constantly use that word, but it's never used in it doesn't come across to me as derogatory. No. They are literally ripping the piss out of each other. I love it.
To be fair though, it's the same when we call Goodwill a twat. It's meant with love.
What is it?
Love affection. So yes, my number one pick probably wouldn't have been my number one pick if Sarah hadn't said it first. I probably would have waited to drop that pearl in, but is Golden Girls.
Cool. So Goodwill, do you want to go next? You're looking all smarmy and trying to be
really
all sultry and trying to. Is there someone you're trying to impress in the chat? So you're trying to.
No. I have, as you know, I have deliberated this top five for months. This has been my first top five, because I love me sitcoms.
Yes,
and there's far too bloody many to condense into five. So
to be fair though, you've probably been on more than them. So
P.O. been on one. So far. My first one. I watched this when it came out, and then I sort of rediscovered it during lockdown, and it was something that it was the first lockdown, so it wasn't 1, 2, or 3 Tokyo Drift. It was the faster, the lock and the down, or whatever it's going to call.
The original, the OG.
The original, yeah.
The one where we couldn't look out your letterbox without being scaremongered.
Get in!
Yeah, before Vin Diesel's family became common.
Oh no, not them kids. I can't take them memes anymore. They are banned from the group as well. The fact that I don't ban many memes, but the family ban steers.
Yeah, I'm the only wheelman you need, guys. So this one I discovered, like I said, during lockdown. I'll give you some hints. 2006 to 2013, set at the lovely New York City, set in New York City. This will probably give it away, starring Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin.
Oh, thank God for that.
Set at 30 Rockefeller Center, Manhattan. It is 30 Rock.
Very good.
Nice.
So this essentially for me, because I am a huge Saturday Night Live fan.
Yes.
Absolutely huge. And, even if you have never seen Saturday Night Live, you can appreciate the stars that have been born from Saturday Night Live. Yeah. So when they were like, hey, Tina Fey's got this sitcom coming out and it's Saturday Night Live on drugs, and you're just like, what? Oh, okay. And I fell in love with it from the pilot all the way to the end. I absolutely adored it. Everyone in it I loved. I loved Kenneth, who, towards the end was some sort of transcendent primordial being that's been around for hundreds of years, but really wants to be a runner. Kenneth spoke to me quite a lot when I first saw it, because I actually applied for NBC Universal in New York when I left uni and I graduated, because they did this great apprenticeship scheme where they would if you passed, they would pay for you to move to New York,
Yeah.
and they would train you up for a year or two in what studio work or whatever you wanted to learn. And then if you passed, they would then give you a job in one of their subsidiaries in London or wherever around the world. So I applied for that. Obviously, I didn't get it.
Oh.
Oh,
But
are you telling us you didn't choose Nitty Up North over NBC? Is that what it is? That you?
I also got a job on a cruise ship, but I'll talk about that another time. So I was a singer.
How many gimmicks have you got?
I've got all of them.
How many lives have you led?
Too many, Sammy, too many. But this was, it was so funny and it was so hilarious. And they did what Will and Grace did, which was quite popular around about this area, where they did a lot of a couple of live shows.
Yeah.
But it was brilliant because as the people behind it worked on SNL, and it was, the live stuff was filmed at Studio 8H, where SNL is filmed. It was just literally a 45-minute SNL sketch. And with Tina Fey behind it, it was just so funny. And the to and from between Jack and Liz Lemon, Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey always used to get me, because Alec Baldwin just played this rich,
He played Alec Baldwin. Let's be honest.
He wasn't Alec Baldwin. Yeah, he played Alec Baldwin, but super rich Alec Baldwin. And it just, I absolutely, I loved it. I love Tracy Jordan because he was just such a diva all the way through. Yeah. I loved, I forget her name now, but Liz's best friend, the blonde-haired woman.
Is it her from Kimmy Schmidt and Ally McBeal?
Yes.
Yeah.
She is a phenomenal actress.
She's got the biggest eyes in the world.
Yes.
She really does.
But it was just it was always well written, and it was just always it was a light-hearted dig at the pressures that the SNL crew face, because obviously they work 5 to 6 days a week, and once they've done the Saturday show, they have a day off, and then they're straight into the next show on Monday morning. And the turnaround is insane, and it shows, it portrays just how hard the crew work in the background.
Yeah.
Because Saturday Night Live is, when you read about it and when you watch the behind the scenes, it is insane. That crew to do an hour and a half show every week at 11:30 at night and do everything at speed, changing sets, because it's only one studio, and the speed of which they change sets, it's insane. Yeah. And this was sort of a loving tribute to, so I mean, it took the piss out of Saturday Night Live, and Lorne Michaels did oversee it, but it was a loving way to basically say, these kids, they're all hyped up on caffeine and drugs. Why? Because they do a show at midnight in New York City, and they have to change sets in 30 seconds and completely change someone's makeup in 10 seconds. And it was just, I loved it. And I deliberate, this was one that was constantly darting in and out of my list, but I thought no, because for me, it was such a unique sitcom about technically a sitcom, a live variety show.
It's so meta. We started watching it, but again fell off for no other reason but just because we did. We actually really loved it. I am a fan of Tina Fey. I think her comedy is hilarious, but Tracy Morgan is just a fucking delight to watch on screen.
He really is
absolute delight. That man is a treasure. He's just brilliant. But I will go back and watch it at some point. But I can imagine Lorne Michaels had a lot of overseeing on this. I can't imagine him not.
They did a lot of things. Like I said, it's very much SNL bar the name.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I did feel like I was watching an extended version of SNL Live. That's what I bought into first. But then again, I think something else must have came out, and I kind of trailed away from it.
Yeah,
they also had a lot of special guests, and like Michael Keaton and stuff like that, just playing a janitor when he's 2 days from retirement or something like that, and he's just I'll just turn this screw and then I'll go home and throw the pitch for the big game. I hope nothing happens. And it was just that sort of SNL type comedy in a multi-camera sitcom. I absolutely loved it.
Cool. It is something I feel I will go back to, but I'm not in any rush to, because it's there, and I'll eventually get round to it.
Not cool.
Cool choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll follow up with a link to the Golden Girls in a way, because Betty White did cameo in this TV show for like, I think it was 2 episodes. This
I think
show,
I've got it already.
this show, it's one of them ones where you either love it or you hate it, but all the references in it, it's very much my kind of TV show, and it's very self-aware because it has its poor seasons, it has its poor episodes, but the season finale, when it ends, it makes reference to it, and the speech the main character gives, saying sometimes you have your ups, sometimes you have your downs, and I absolutely just loved the characters in this, and we did get a lot from this. Like the people who were involved with making this show, we wouldn't probably, if they didn't get big off this, because they did have some involvement in, we wouldn't have Avengers Endgame
Oh, it's just clicked.
yeah. 6 seasons in a movie. Hashtag. Community. Now, this is one I didn't watch when it first came out. I think I picked up on Netflix. And the writing in this show and the characters in this show are up there with some of the best sitcoms you'll ever see. It's one of the, it doesn't get the credit for because a lot of people don't see it as like a, because it's weird. It is very strange, and like the episodes are self-contained. They have puppet episodes, but the people that give us from this, we got like say Donald Glover for it, and even though he went batshit crazy and was a complete dickhead for half the season, half the episodes that he was in, it brought back Chevy Chase, and Chevy Chase was good in this. He wasn't phoning it in.
Heard. Yeah,
but
I've heard.
If you hear about the back, like forget about like the personality as we said before, but him in this show was just magic, and that's the one thing that when a show like things like Friends or The Big Bang, it very much relies on the characters' interactions with each other. And this was just amazing, and not just the main cast, like the side cast in it, like Starburns or Leonard or Todd. Like I know I'm just listing people's names, and if you've not seen it, it won't make any things. But they carried these people all the way through the 6 seasons, and kept on bringing them back for little references, and they got little side things about them, and it was just so much fun. And that's what I can say about this show. It's just fun.
Oh, wow.
And you can tell the people in it are complete big nerds as well, because there's the Star Wars references, there's the Star Trek references, there's Indiana Jones references, and they do something that other shows do well as well, but they have big event episodes, and they try and one-up the episodes and things. So one of the big things is paintball. They have a paintball competition through it in the first season, and it's a 2-parter, and it's hilarious. It's like how people and friends would tear each other apart to win a competition of paintball, and then it comes back.
But like us.
Oh, totally. And they bring it back in the next thing. So you kind, it's almost like, again, probably a show that we'll talk about later, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where you're looking forward to that Halloween episode.
Heist.
This kind of like you were looking forward to like the sort of thing, but the main cast, like Joel McHale, like playing Jeff Winger, is like, if you want to see a journeyman like go through a change and see, he goes like, he's the ultimate douchebag from the first episode, and he's basically, the premise is he's a lawyer that basically cheated and said he had a diploma that didn't, got found out, so he's sent to community college to get his diploma and to basically, so he can start being a lawyer again. So he's smarmy, he's a cunt. Sorry, I'll say the word. He is
throwing it out there.
He is literally everything. And he meets this guy called Abed, and Abed is just the sweetest, most innocent robot you'll ever meet. That's the best way I can describe, because he just takes pop culture and he thinks real life is like a TV show. So he puts every references. There's like reference to Ghost. Like he goes to a pottery class and there's no ghosting sign. So if anyone sings Unchained Melody, like they get banned from the class and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
But like say you fall in love with Alison Brie. Alison Brie's first like appearance in this show, and she's starts off as a mild-mannered little girl and turns develops into like this absolutely stunning, beautiful woman throughout. I could go on and like say that one, like even the side characters, like the Dean, Dean Craig Pelton, is one of the most hilarious things. But again, he's an overly out person, but he doesn't make reference to his sexuality, and they even make like an episode where they try and make him come out, and he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm just me. I'm just flamboyant." And it was just lovely to see that element, and having the main protagonist like throughout the seasons as Ben Chang, who was Ken Chuang. I probably said it wrong. Him out the Hangover, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But they've
Ken
got
Jeong.
Ken Chong. Sorry, he plays like Start a Spanish teacher, and he just one of the most hilarious things. He tortures these students to the point where he gets sacked. So he comes back as a student, and then he basically becomes the security that lives on thing. It's just mental, his journey all the way through. There's monkeys called Annie's boobs. I say, and there's one where it's like a what they call like a bottle episode, because as I said, Abed takes it all like he's like it's like a TV show, and one of the episodes where Annie's sick of having her pen stolen, so she kicks off with the group, and the group just melt down in this room because it's all sat in like a study room, like at a table, this magic table. I know it sounds weird, but it honestly is one of the most amazing episodes I've ever seen on TV.
Wow.
And it did introduce John Oliver as well. So we got
Oh
John Oliver played a
yeah.
T-shirt, and he was a recurring character throughout. And the only thing that lets it down, and again, with any TV show, it did lose its magic a little bit when Donald Glover left. Like, because like say he moved on to bigger and better things, shall we say? And it kind of lost its spark a little bit, but it reacted to that. It got new people in. It got the guy out of Breaking Bad in to play like a teacher. Then it got the woman out of Blade Runner. I've forgotten her name now. I can't remember. But she was in Ace Ventura as well. Played Howard Finkel. She comes in, and the dynamic changes like as they grow and they get like move on. But it's just so self-aware, and I would always recommend people to give this a watch. Even if you don't love it, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, this is so you got us into Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play Community the same way I did Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put it on and hope for the best. Yeah. I'm not going to tell them what it is. I'm just going to put it on because it's exactly how I did it with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I know you have talked about this, of how much you love this show. I'm sure you've even referenced it at some point throughout the podcast. But yeah, this is one that I really do want to watch. I think me and Ant have exhausted all of our sitcoms for now. We are on like 4th runs, 5th runs, 25th runs. So this is something fresh that I really want to watch.
If you like movies, if you like TV shows, it basically it's like parodies a lot of them throughout.
What?
It's like a parody TV show, I would say, but doesn't make it too obvious where it slaps you in the face.
Class. That is one I'm going to watch. It's such a cool choice.
So
I'm actually in the middle of a rewatch of Community at the minute, and it is one. It is one of the ones that kept going on and off my list. I absolutely adore. I honestly, I can't sing Jolene in the same way again.
You've got me intrigued with that alone.
You'll get that when you get to the episode, and I mean, I can't say what I wanted to say now because I don't want to spoil it for you. But the after credits scene with Betty White was you know exactly what I'm talking about, Paul.
Yes.
Inside jokes there, Goodwill.
No.
Absolutely fantastic. I love Betty White. Oh my god, I love her so much, and that just makes my day every time I see that.
Yeah, it's like the premise of the after credits isn't like a little thing to the episodes. Normally, it's got like Abed and Troy, like Donald Glover's character, either giving an interview to a camera crew that's not there, like pretending they're like a TV show, like Sunday morning, like co-host and stuff. and they get like random
Richard
people,
and Judy.
Richard and Judy-esque, or they come in a room and they find a baby and they're like, oh no, our lives have just got to change. I'm going to be a father, and he's like, why are you going to go to work? And they have this like mini argument. And this woman just gets up from the table and picks up the baby and walks out, looks at him, and they just
everything's a catastrophe without it actually being a catastrophe.
But yeah, it's just, as I said, it'll make you smile when you watch it, and I think it doesn't try and be too clever. It doesn't try and be too controversial. It does have important things and important like notes it does there. It's just, as I said, a bunch of friends having fun, and like how they become friends and stuff, like become a family.
We could do
Can I
something
just
like that.
shout out some of the cameos as well? I mean, the cameos in this are amazing. It's like, again, I don't really want to go into how many like of people that you notice in there, Sammy, but there's some really big
Sarah,
ones quite early on.
I have the worst memory, so if I don't rewatch this back, I may not actually remember. So don't be worried about spoiling anything.
Oh yeah, and it's rumored there is a certain scene in it which is rumored to have been the inspiration for Miles Morales' Spider-Man.
Yes.
As well, so that is how much of an impact this show has had on things such as Marvel and that as well. That's just one example of it.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of the cast actually have been in the Marvel universe as side characters because of the Russo brothers' involvement in the show.
I bet Nicola Brown's in it, isn't she?
Yeah, like all of them's been in. I think the only one that hasn't.
She's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, I think the only person that hasn't is Alison Brie yet, but that's because she was rumored to play a big part, but didn't get it. I believe. I think she was up for Natasha Romanoff at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yes, but I think she's a bit too busty for that role. Not saying anything, but yeah. But yes, but apparently they're keeping Alison Brie available because they think they've got a big aspirations for her when she does hit the Marvel universe.
Maybe a Sue Storm.
Possibly, I could see it, but I think the one that I probably would have been really excited for would have been Carol. She would have been a really good Carol Danvers.
She would have been an amazing Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
It is Alison Brie from Glow, right?
Yep. No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see Alison Brie as, because she can do serious, but she can also be really quirky as well.
Yeah. But no, definitely.
Oh, what a great first choice.
Cool. So we're back to Sarah now. So the pressure's on now for your second pick. Are you going to pick another one of Sammy's now?
I bet you do.
Oh God, I don't know whether to skip to some of the other ones now though.
No, God no.
Don't worry.
Well, my first note on this particular thing was I would be surprised if this is not on somebody else's list.
Right.
That is actually my note for this and I mean you'll get it as soon as I mention anything. Paul has mentioned it several times already tonight.
9-9.
It's 9-9. Of course it is.
On the 9-9.
So it's on my list.
I didn't pick it because I knew he would.
Yeah. Is it on Goodwill's list?
Nope.
All right.
Oh, that's less than I was expecting then. But yeah, it's kind of like it's a comfort show for me.
It's the best show.
I've lost track of how many times I have watched this. I just keep going back to it again and again and again. You know, it's hilarious at times. I love all the characters. I can relate to pretty much every character in there at some point during the show. You know, even Scully.
I'm very much a Scully, don't worry.
I mean, it's kind of like there are so many different personalities in that room, and it's just kind of how they interact with each other and how, you know, you think that, you know, how on earth would Rosa get on with Charles and stuff like that, but when it comes down to it, you know, that they will put their lives on the line for each other, and they completely they have each other's backs. They're there no matter what for each other, and you know, I just love it.
This was,
it's fantastic.
I knew it was going to get picked, and again, I'm not going to be nasty or anything. This was going to be my last pick because I'll be honest, this is the perfect American sitcom. Everyone will say Friends or Big Bang Theory.
No.
This one is perfect from start to finish. There is not a weak episode. There's not There's not a story that is wasted. There's not a character that's wasted. They use everything properly, and it has the perfect ending the way it should have ended, and that we needed it to end. And
Yeah.
I think it garnered an audience in the UK, especially thanks to constant syndication from E4, and I think it massively gained popularity over here during lockdown and working from home, because obviously you have your telly on, and what do you have during the day? You have whatever's in the background. What's in the background all day, every day? Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it's one of those where you can finish it in the finale. By the way, I don't think you ever discussed this on the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode. That finale where Holt sits down with Peralta and says, "If I ever had a son, I would be absolutely proud." Oh God, it gets me every time.
Oh
But it's
my
one of those
God.
where it's one of those where you can finish that and go straight back to the beginning and be more than happy to
and
start
I've done
again.
it.
I've done it as well.
We only watched it because he kept banging on about it. So I eventually, all I did was just one night was sitting down having tea. I just put it on.
Yeah.
And Ant's going, "Oh man, I didn't." I was just give it just one episode. Just give it one episode, and if you didn't like it, we'll turn it off. Watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
We blitzed that whole series. There is not a bum note that runs through that. The entirety of the series.
Yeah, and I think Sarah said it before on the Golden Girls. This is a hard-hitting show with points it puts across. It doesn't back down from anything, and it's got the characters and the people involved that had the balls to say a thing. The whole because this had the hardest season to do with everything that happened in America with the Black Lives Matter music.
Yeah,
I love the fact that season they had a script and they went, "We can't do this script now. It doesn't feel right." They put that in the bin and they rewrote it from scratch. They went, "It might delay the season coming out a little bit, but we think we need to address this. If we don't address this, we wouldn't get thing." And to have the balls to do that, especially after it already been cancelled once.
yeah.
Because you remember that this got cancelled and they said, we didn't want... Not because it wasn't doing well. I don't know what... I can't even get the reasons why it was cancelled.
It was Fox, because it was running on Fox. And they cancelled it, I think, and someone in the chat can probably correct me, I believe it was budgetary.
Right.
And I think, but because much like most things in America, it'll air on Fox, but it's probably recorded in another studio.
Right.
And I believe this was recorded at NBC studios in LA, and it got cancelled by Fox. And almost immediately on Twitter, the showrunners were like, "Don't worry, we will fight for this." And it was one of the quickest turnarounds I have ever seen.
It was like
American
2 days,
TV
2 or 3 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
NBC picked it up because NBC knew, they were like, "No, we will take that. It's an instant win." And they backed a winner for that.
Because I think Netflix wanted it as well.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that was the thing. Because I think Netflix now are finally showing the final season over here.
Yes, I got Carolyn texted us the other day and said the final season of 99's on. I was like, "I've already fucking seen it."
But some of the most memorable scenes, like even the joke scenes, the serious scenes, but just the best bit. I'll start off and see if you follow. "You are my fire, the one." Number 4. Yes.
Desire.
It's funny. Like, yeah, number 5 did it. Number 5 killed my brother. Oh God, I really forgot that's what we're here for. That is such a memorable scene. One of my favorites is the heist. The heist.
Halloween heist.
And it's Rosa jumping out the window, flipping the finger, taking the bunny costume off. I fucking love it. The proposal.
Yeah.
And also the fact that just throughout the whole thing, Jake is trying to live Die Hard. That's just tickles my funny bone.
So I know it's your pick, Sarah, and we've kind of jumped on it. Sorry.
Sorry, Sarah.
I expected everybody to come in on this one.
What would you say your favourite episode is? I know it's always a hard one, but I've always got one that I absolutely adore. I just think, as a show, that what it does, it's like this one always stands out. It's absolutely brilliantly the tension and how it's probably the best Jake and Holt episode ever in my eyes, because they're the two characters I love more than anything else.
Hmm. I have to say, I think overall Rose is my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
I think I just want to be her. She's like so cool, and I just love Stephanie Beatrice.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite, because again, that's one of the things that changes depending on like, you know, how recently I've watched like a particular season or something like that. But one that keeps coming back to me is the dentist that they've got in the
Yes, that's mine.
is the dentist. It's one of my favorite episodes. I keep coming back to it. And it's just Holt's reaction at the end, like, damn. I just think, you know what, it was just such a good way of telling the story, and you think like Jake's just gonna fail and fail and fail and fail at getting this guy, but in the end he just pulls that out of his hat, and it's like, wow.
I think it's powerful as well, because it's very, it's like very enclosed, a very claustrophobic episode where it shouldn't work on like a comedy like episode and like the comedy aspect, but that was the episode where I think the father and son bond relationship with Holt for me was cemented, because they had different things like when they had the mumps and like the Gertrude and stuff like that. But that one is when they're in that room, and that's when I think Holt realizes how good and how like what Jake's potential was, and it's just like I say, and the guy who, like I can't remember the guy who like plays the dentist, but how sinister and how cocksure he was as well.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's him from This Is Us and Black Panther and
he's been in loads of stuff. He was in the O.J. Simpson one as well.
He was. So, which is the episode where Jake has like 24 hours to get this guy that he's arrested off the street. He's one of his old people, and it's the scene where he goes like, "How long did it take you to arrest him?" And all he says is just one word to him, and Jake goes, "All right then, okay, you're coming with me." And me and Anthony had to go back and watch that about at least 10 times, because we could not stop laughing at Jake's reaction when he goes to go and arrest him. Just honestly, I even thinking about it, like my stomach muscles are shaking with like because I want to control me laughter so badly. But I think it's so ridiculous, but it's so funny.
But the cameos as well, like they use the cameos so well. Like I think we talked about
two of my favorite people are in these cameos.
I think we talked about during like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode we did. Like shows normally have cameos just for cameo's sake. This one, they're getting them on, but they give them a real purpose. Like the Sean Astin one was just absolutely unreal. And how he like said it. He didn't recognize him because he had his shave. It's like, but like other things, like even the ones where they are just a jokey one, like Adam Sandler being on, it's just hilarious. Like, why is Adam Sandler here? And he's good. Who wants to see me put my sack in his mouth?
I'm making a very serious movie. Oh, really? Which actor does Kevin play?
Kevin James.
Yeah, he plays that one.
Craig Robinson is still a favourite of mine.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name at the top of my head.
Pontiac Bandit.
Yes.
Doug Judy.
Doug Judy. That's
Doug
it.
Judy. Doug
Judy. Always thought he was going to come through in the end, and he always ends up fucking him over.
One of my favourite things that Doug Judy goes, Rosa, 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 are you single? No, I'm taken. I respect that.
No. I would love to have been a fly on the wall when they made this as well.
In the writing room, just sitting in that writing room. That'd have been fantastic.
I mean, sorry, I was just going to carry on with the cameos.
Oh, sorry, yes, sorry.
The two that are my favorite people in the world, like some of my two favorite actors have not been mentioned yet, so I feel like I need to address that quickly.
Represent them.
Represent. One of them is actually Rose's father.
Right. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I adore Danny Trejo. one day I will get to America and I will try a Trejo taco.
Yeah.
To be fair, didn't they announce they were doing Machete in space? It's supposed to be actually getting made now.
You know
Oh
what?
my God, fuck yeah.
I'm a massive Machete fan.
I don't mind it
I
either.
absolutely love Machete, and you know, anything with Danny Trejo in, we will go and watch,
Yeah.
basically. Um, but yeah, I just kind of like I'm gonna touch on one of the like slightly more serious points there with Danny Trejo's character.
Mhm,
It's Rosa coming out to them
mhm,
as bisexual, and while I'm not condoning their reaction to it, you can kind of understand
mhm.
where her parents' reaction comes from, because if you think about it, like the Latino
Mhm.
community are traditionally, not always, traditionally they are more religious,
Yeah.
and not all religions are as accepting of alternative
Yeah.
lifestyles as some.
Yeah.
But I just think it was a really good twist on it that he actually comes back later in the episode and says he needs time to absorb it, and so does our mother. Like he's accepting it. He
Mhm,
will need to continue to learn to accept it,
mhm.
but our mother needs more time.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like a positive outlook on that, really, because
Yeah.
of their background
Mhm.
and like going forward. It's a kind of I understand that it's not as easily acceptable
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everybody.
No, definitely, and I think the
Um,
reaction to the team as well, because it shows you that I think the big message with that as well, your family isn't always your family who you're kind of born with. It's people
mhm.
who are with you at your hardest times or at your worst
Mhm.
or at your best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And their reaction
Absolutely.
afterwards, like say, "Oh, you're not going to have a games night with your parents anymore, but you're going to have a games night with us."
yeah,
Yeah.
And that was like touching. But just what you said there, Sarah, what I enjoyed about it as well, because normally you would expect it to be the different role. You would
mhm.
expect the mother to be more accepting to like her
Yeah,
coming out, but it wasn't. It was her father, and
yeah,
that was
Mhm.
a nice little touch, something I wasn't expecting as well,
Yeah.
because you had like a staunch character like Danny Trejo playing him, so it makes it easier to be that like wall, shall we say, of
mhm.
acceptance, and
Mhm.
to see him break down, I think it had a bigger punch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Massively.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, especially because like I know that you're not meant to just kind of like say, oh, I know him, he's in all of these
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
guns toting type movies, things like that. So he's a hard man, he's been in prison, blah 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 blah. You're not meant to do that, but it's immediately what I think of when I see Danny Trejo, and it's kind of like I know he's a tough guy, but like at the same time on social media, he seems like an absolute darling.
Yeah,
Yeah. He sounds such a
He
sweetheart.
seems like I'd love to go for a coffee with him.
yeah. I loved him in Fanboys as well. That was one of my highlights.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, the chief.
And yeah, another of my favorite people as well, though. I can't go to talk about this without mentioning Nick Offerman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
The fucking duck.
the
I
duck.
mean, he
The
is pretty much
duck.
the man of the moment anyway, but
Yeah.
you know, I have loved Nick Offerman so for so long. Um,
I
but
think we're going to
yes,
start the Nerdy Up North fan club for him, because, like, say,
oh
he's
Yeah,
been
God, we
getting a
have
lot of
to.
indeed.
We
love.
have to.
You got to watch Parks and Rec to be a part of it, though.
I will sign up to that. Um, um, but yeah, and I mean, I like the fact that he wasn't just in one episode
Yeah.
as well, that he came back to help Terry's wife and things like that, even though he wasn't kind of a doctor for humans.
He still did it, though. He still stepped
Yes,
up.
he
Yes.
still stepped up and he still came and helped, no matter like what had happened in the past between him and Holt.
Yes. When Holt was a dog.
Yes.
Was a dirty dog.
But yes, I just love the relationships, and like even like Holt and
Yeah.
Kevin, that was one of the most pure and loving relationship in their own way. And like say
Yeah.
that the episode, they made a brave decision as well to have them like have problems in the final season. And I
Yeah.
thought that
Yeah.
was a masterstroke, just because it gave Holt that little bit of vulnerability that we hadn't
Yeah.
seen, and just
Um,
see that weakness.
Terry Crews can't not be mentioned. When you're talking about Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Yeah.
he has had some of the strongest story arcs when it comes to real life issues.
Mhm.
Originally, when you first meet Terry, he's suffering massively from PTSD.
Yeah.
hugely. But the episode that really stood out for us was the one where he had to deal with the racism.
Yeah.
That was such a that was a hard one. That's a hard one to watch because not only is it it's Terry Crews, and he's funny as fuck, but he's also a statue of a man, and you don't expect Terry Crews to feel the way that he did. Like you would just you think he's bulletproof.
Yeah.
And he's not. And it was such a fun, it's just so beautifully written.
No, I love that aspect. Like, say, even like the comedy aspect to it as well, where the kids are asking Jake and Santiago, "What's racism? Are we going to be scared?" and stuff like that. And that could have been dealt with so heavy-handed, but it was just like a light touch that was done.
Yeah,
and it was just beautifully written.
Yes, I could do a whole episode just talking about how much I love this show again. I could do more, but yes,
I could do it again, all over again.
But I think with a lot of shows as well, like it's not about the ending; it's about the journey you get there, like the storytelling there. Because a lot of the American sitcoms, again, not to say all of them, but a lot of them can't land the ending. This one landed the ending hard and landed it massively. Again, I would like to. I don't want to give a fuck. A lot of fan service, a lot of the stuff we want, but a lot of the things that you weren't expecting, like the whole change around with Jake giving up his dream to give Amy her dream, and that sacrifice again. And if you met Jake in season 1, you think he's never going to do that. He would never. He would never be the one to throw, like say the Steve Rogers moment, to lie on the grenade for someone else. He was very self-centered and very say Seth. But by the time we got there, we knew that, and that relationship felt so strong and so wonderfully put together. And I know there were jokes all the way through, like Charles saying, "Oh, we'll never see you kiss anymore" and stuff like that. But we didn't need to see that type of thing to know that love and relationship was there. But
the proposal said it all.
But to see Jake say, "Yes, I'm going to hand it over." Say, I'm happy to say to give up being a detective because you mean more to me, was just, you couldn't have had it any other way. It wouldn't have worked if it did it any other way.
I know.
Yeah, it wasn't the ending I was expecting.
But it's the ending you wanted.
It's the ending I wanted, and I fucking loved it. Absolutely loved it. Not gonna lie, bawled my eyes out. Haven't getting around to watching it again.
So that's my second pick gone now. So as well. So we're back to Sammy now.
Cool. So I'm gonna get one out that I think. What I do?
You're popping one out.
Hey, I got confused. I couldn't see the screen, so I was like, "What have I done?" No. So I am gonna
getting the viewers all excited.
Woo woo! I'm gonna get this one out because I potentially could be on Paul's list. It is not just one of the best sitcoms going. It is greatest. It's just, it is fun. I can't put into words how much this show has helped us, and it really shouldn't. When I say what it is, you're gonna think, how in the fuck has this helped this person? Is she really that warped? But this got me and my husband through one of the darkest times last year, and I will be forever grateful for it. I am a massive fan of these guys. I will support them in anything they do, but it is Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Not on my list.
Wow, I am shocked. It is. I am actually generally shocked. I generally thought this would be on there.
No, I do love it, but I find it hard to see it as a sitcom, if that makes sense. It feels like a variety of sketch shows.
Oh my god, that's not how I see it at all.
It is the anti-Friends, though, isn't it? It's like,
well, anything, it is. That's how. That's when they sat together, and because these guys have been friends for years, and if you listen to their podcast, the stories go back way before they sat down to go and run to start Sunny. But when they did, they said, if the characters for Friends were assholes, how would they be? And that's what you get is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This was just, again, it was something I had to literally just put on and see if we liked it. And we have watched this so many times, but then we go and we watch their podcast. We watch and then we're watching the podcast with the episode. And then when we start the series again from that point, but then we have to go back when the next episode comes on, and they're talking about the next episode. It's a massive cycle, but I love them. But they did last year. Me and Anth went through a really, really hard time, and to drown out this, just what was going on, it was Always Sunny that was put on.
Just to let people know that you're not allowed to listen to any other podcasts. That's a disclaimer.
Well, do you see their podcast is just a friggin', it's one of their episodes. It's them three sketching it out, but it's fantastic. Caitlin Olsen is my absolute hero. Sweet D, that woman, that the physical comedy that comes off that woman is
you
just
are totally
phenomenal.
Sweet D in our group, though.
Oh, massively.
It's like, God damn it, bitch.
God damn it, bitch. That's something, and sometimes Dennis is bitch. We love saying it, emphasizing it, but Dennis is our favorite character.
Yeah,
he is
warped. He's not a nice man.
He is a complete and utter psychopath. He is a sociopath. He is dangerous. That man is dangerous. When he is sitting talking to D in an office, and he's talking about his tools and how he's going to skin D and make her into a suitcase, and he's being deadly serious about it. He is fantastic. The writing in it's great. It's going for another 4 seasons, so fuck yeah. Even the Irish one. Yeah. Even me and Anth found love and affection in the Irish
one. I
didn't
mind it. It just felt a bit short, I think, for that one.
Yeah, I think that's because, you see, the guy who plays Dennis Glenn, the amount of times that he's going to quit is ridiculous. And he did. He quit. When he leaves that bar in the series, he quit, and he quit for good. He was just in the right. He was going to do the right, and he wasn't going to return as Dennis. But then he couldn't stand watching them filming it, and he was like, nah, I'm coming back in. But he does it, apparently he does it all the time, to the point where he's like, he chops and changes when he's going to actually quit and when he's not. He's a pain in the ass for it. So potentially in the Irish one, he was on the verge of quitting. But the relationship between the three of them is, it's what's the word I'm looking for?
Toxic.
Oh no, it's not. Honestly, when they sit
dysfunctional
and talk, in the show, absolutely, they are horrible individuals.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant. That's the kind of that's kind of the atmosphere you get from them. Like, I would not want to hang about with them, not at all.
I would want nothing more to hang out with them.
Maybe that shows what's wrong with your personality more than anything else, to be honest.
I mean, I did say on the Game of Thrones episode I did, where we were talking about satisfying deaths, you were going to see a very sadistic side of me come out.
True, but why would you want to share time with people that shit the bed and have it
But yeah, I don't want to spend time with their characters. I want to spend time with
that's different. No, we're talking about the show. We're not talking about
I want to spend If Sarah can go and have a coffee with Danny Trejo, I want to go and sit with them three.
That's fine, but Danny Trejo is not a main character. We're talking about the main cast. If you've got to stay with them, they've got to be in character with you all the time.
But then I'll take it.
Frank's going to just be throwing eggs at you.
No, he'll be just eating sausages out of his shirt. And I'll be happy just to watch that.
You kinky bitch. But yes,
absolutely.
I want to say more about this, but I'm not. The reason being, we're doing an episode on it.
I know we are. I know.
So I have to be careful, because I do love this show. Like I say, it's one of them things where it's very unique, and I don't think there's anything like it or ever but I think, again, we probably use the word a lot in the description, the braveness and the balls in the writing to do things that no other shows would, like the whole. I can't remember it now. The abortion episode. Where they're using abortion to think, we're going to pick up women. Like, which one's going to be easy and which ones are going to be frigid. It's just like
that's like in the first series as well. That's like literally one of the first episodes, but the Lethal Weapon episodes.
Yeah.
For them to do that, for them to do what Dee did. You can't get them on Netflix, so don't worry. But you can find them on streaming services.
Yeah, it's like
But yeah, I know that we're doing an episode on it, but I just couldn't not include this on my list. It's one of my favorite, all-time favorite series.
actually that is a point. If you are going to watch Community, watch it on the streaming service. Don't watch it on Netflix because they actually cut out an episode that is, it does involve a similar thing, but
Right.
it's got a Dungeons and Dragons element to it, but
Yeah.
it's problematic, shall we say?
Right.
But
Okay.
it is a very good episode, and I would hate for you to miss out on it.
Okay. I'll watch it through streaming services. But do
Yes.
the same for Always Sunny as well.
Yeah. I think I handled that way right.
I think that was good. But yeah,
Yeah.
my number 2 pick will be Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Cool. Goodwill.
Good.
Have you gotten your picks now?
No, I've got them right here, just in
dear.
case I have a blackout.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
My next pick is, I would describe it as quintessentially 90s. And as soon as I start saying what I'm about to say, you will immediately get it.
Go on then.
Because in West Philadelphia,
Oh,
born and
gosh.
raised, on a playground is where he spent most of his days, chilling out, maxing on, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of his school, when all of a sudden, he got the shit kicked out of him. Fresh Prince.
Yeah, this is one of my picks.
Oh no!
Wow.
Fresh Prince
Oh.
of Bel-Air. This, I remember this being on BBC Two in the late 90s, because it was 1990 to 1996 it aired. And it was on BBC Two in the late 90s. I think it was after The Simpsons or before The Simpsons. So it used to be like The Simpsons and then The Fresh Prince, or
Yeah,
it was like
I think it was
Fresh
that way
Prince and then
around.
Simpsons, then something else. This, for me, it highlighted a lot of issues that Black people faced in the 90s, especially well-off
Yeah.
Black people in the 90s, and the challenges of people who have literally come from nothing to being, in
Everything.
Bel-Air. Yes, there were issues behind the scenes with Will Smith being his ego, which caused the original Aunt Viv to leave. But for me,
Good for her for knowing her worth, though.
yeah, exactly. For me, this has some absolutely hilarious scenes in it where he's teaching Ashley like how to step up to someone and like basically say you're nuts. And he's just, just mind your business, just mind your business. And just stuff like that.
I remember that.
And for me, I mean, Carlton. We cannot talk about Fresh Prince without talking about Carlton and the goddamn love of Tom Jones and his dancing.
The dance.
Yeah,
You did it better than me.
Absolutely. But one of my most, I mean, there's a scene I'll talk about after this one, but one of my most funniest scenes is, I believe it's the one with William Shatner, and they're at the dentist.
Oh wait,
and they're getting high. They're getting high on Nos. They're getting high on Nos, and they're basically taking him out, and he's due to do a show, and they're taking him out, and he has to go to the dentist. And they get high on Nos, and it's just they get the giant toothbrush and then the bloody giant tooth, and they're just basically acting high as a kite.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, this was a show that I link it a lot with Futurama, where it makes you laugh until you cry, and then it makes you cry. Because it had some very emotive stories that it talked about when it came to race and family and stuff like that. And for me personally, it was the episode with his father. Because when I watched this, I didn't have a father. My dad wasn't in my life. And to find out later on that whole, like, most of that scene was improvised, tore me apart, because I knew that what Will Smith was saying was raw, it was visceral, and it was coming from a genuine place. And I
Yeah, completely.
100% felt it.
Mhm.
And I just, growing up without a father, you feel that more
Mm.
when you hear the pain of someone else who has also grown up without a father.
Yeah.
And to me, 30 years later, it still stands up as one of the best scenes in television. And that like Avery Brooks just going in for that hug.
Yeah,
It's the hat. It's when he knocks
Just
his
getting
hat
rid
off
of the
his
hat.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
And
But the
it's the bit where he says, "How come he doesn't want me?"
yeah,
he doesn't want me.
that's it's the voice
And
break.
yeah, and it really upsets me. Even now, I mean, I do speak to my father now. Even now, though, it still upsets me because I
Yeah.
feel that pain 30 years later. And for me, it's got really, really stunning emotional moments like that, but some genuinely hilarious
Oh,
moments as well.
yeah.
And it also gets rather meta, like when they address the change in Aunt Viv head on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Jazz
It's
comes in and goes, "There's something different about you." No,
Yeah.
no. And Will's just like looking at the camera. And then, there's certain bits, like the bit where Carlton gets really upset and he breaks a fourth wall and he just starts running around absolutely hysterical,
Yeah,
and then runs into the audience, runs behind the audience, and then does the dog dragging its ass along the floor
yes.
bit. And I cry laughing every time
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
Alfonso, I really forget his
Is
Alfonso
it
Rivero.
Rivero?
Rivero.
Yeah.
He is so funny in that show, and I wish he was more successful after it, but
Yeah.
he fell into the curse of typecasting.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that is such a shame. There is such a powerful scene with Carlton's character, because Carlton can give the impression that he is a black man living in a white man's world,
Mm-hmm.
and the scene is when he's at a fraternity, and Will's trying to get into. They're both trying to get into this
Yes.
fraternity, and they recognize that because Carlton is very well off. He's clearly of the white man. Like he doesn't know his roots. He doesn't know what
Yeah.
they're fighting for. And Carlton makes this most amazing speech about how, they need to be fighting for the same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All you want to do is just have the anger and the hate, whereas I want to actually fight for something. And
Yeah.
oh my God, that is such a powerful scene. It really showed the stretch of how much he can act.
Yes.
It
I
was
think everyone on
fantastic.
this show were terrific actors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Avery Brooks.
Oh,
Avery Brooks was perfect as Uncle Phil.
in every way.
Yeah.
As he played a loving husband. He
Mhm.
played a loving father. He played the father figure, the hard-ass father figure for Will.
Mhm.
Mhm.
He played an awesome. The scenes where they go back to their old neighborhood to clean
Yeah.
it up, and this is a person who is a judge, well, who becomes a judge,
Yeah.
who is extremely well. They are Republicans.
Mhm.
Yes, they are.
They are Republicans. They get Ronald goddamn Reagan into their house. They get the other former president into their house. They are rich
Yeah.
Republicans, and they still go back to the old neighborhood because they know their roots
Yeah.
and they know where they came from. And I mean, for me, I love the original Aunt Viv
Yeah.
because she was way more genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had more
much
of a
like
presence. She was
Yeah.
because
She had
the new
a
one
raw.
was a bit softer, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
The old Vivian, she had a raw, and if she was, it's that jail scene when they're in jail and she's trying to fight the jailer, and she's pulling her earrings off, ready to go for it. But
Yeah.
the dance scene as well, which pops up on my TikTok all the goddamn time, where she's in a room full of dance students who are like nearly 20 odd
Yeah.
years younger than her.
Mhm.
She fucking shows them right up. It's
Yep.
amazing scene. I didn't realize
Yeah.
how much I actually liked the Fresh Prince until now.
No, it was iconic when it was just. I said it. I think it was BBC Two. It was on. if
Yeah.
my memory serves me right.
Yeah.
You thought it was just going to be this daft little show. But going back to what you said about the father thing, if we ever did a top 5 TV or movie fathers, Philip Banks would be number 1 with a bullet.
Yeah.
Yep,
And he was fucking
absolutely.
shredder.
Exactly. Guy wins
Yes.
across the board.
Yeah.
No, like even all the characters and all the family members get the time to shine, and all the different elements plays through, but it wasn't. I know we're talking like fantasy and stuff like that, but it was very realistic, and it would be how a streetwise guy from the hood, if they were put in that situation, you could actually see the situations. I know it's always like dialed up to 11, like to the extremes, but I just thought like this show was there to make Will Smith, and it
Yes.
did that with buckets. But
Yeah.
like I love the little elements. Like I absolutely adored DJ Jazzy Jeff. Like when
Oh,
he was in
yes.
it, he was absolutely brilliant, and I was just getting excited to see how he was going to get thrown out of the house in this episode, or what he was going to say to upset Phil. But it's all about growth as well, and that's one thing where these shows do very well. It's the growth of the characters.
Yeah.
Well, it was also Sarah's pick as well. So, Sarah, why do you love the Fresh Prince?
Sorry.
No, it's
Well,
fine.
you know what? I had pretty much the same opening paragraph as Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I basically wrote exactly the same thing down as a note to say, like, as soon as I say the first line of this song, you will get what I have said, what I'm going to choose.
That was my Golden Girls opening as well.
With that, Sarah, have you got frosted tips too? Are you with the female Goodwill?
No, I am all one colour. I am all one colour.
Next time she comes on, she's going to have frosted tips.
I'm going to put
guarantee
some blonde in your hair. Yeah, it was just basically just adding on to what Goodwill was saying. The scene about the "why don't he want me?" You have a heart of stone if you do not have some reaction to that scene.
Mhm.
It's so much going on again with the hard hitting stuff. Like there was drugs, there was guns, there was the discrimination. Again, Will comes in with the assumption that because Carlton is rich, that Carlton thinks he's better than Will and things like that. But he soon realizes that Carlton is subject to the same discrimination as Will has been. It's again, it's that famous episode of Will and Carlton driving the car and they get arrested.
Yeah.
That's the one I was referring to, where they're in jail.
And
it's
Carlton just
standout
can't
episode for me.
understand it because he's like, just like Will knows what's coming, and Carlton's like, I don't understand. I'm just driving my car.
And it kind of like it was happening at the time, but again at the same time the show was ahead of its time because it is still happening. And again, that is like similar to what we touched on with Terry Crews in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It is still going on, and it is still being addressed in TV shows.
And the sad thing is, though, I know we probably won't ever, we cannot ever know what that film is.
We can't put ourselves in that place.
Yeah, because let's be honest, with our white privilege, that'll never happen to us in the same way as it will happen to anyone else. And I think that's the important message to get out as well. That, as you said, it's still happening today. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't, no.
But I think it helped a generation, like you just said there, with us being white, we would not understand that. And I think it helped a generation or more. It educated them.
Absolutely.
To say this happens, but it happens more regularly than you think. And this is what we have to put up with.
Look at the age group that it's aimed at.
Yeah.
That it was educational. It was eye-opening. This is actually like this is the real world. This is really what's happening. And for fuck's sake, it still happens today, and it's 2023.
And it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, or whatever.
Nah.
It will happen to you.
Yeah.
Because of the colour of your skin.
Yeah.
I do love that. I do love it when Philip gets fucking really annoyed with the police, and he just turns around and says, "I will shove so much litigation down your throat. Your grandchildren are going to need a lawyer."
Yeah.
That is one of my most favorite lines ever.
Yeah.
No.
He
It's
was
fantastic.
Avery Brooks, may he rest in peace, was
Oh, what a man.
terrific actor.
You know what? Even in like one-off episodes of series, I saw him in an episode of CSI many, many years ago,
Oh.
and he played he played a blind man
Mhm.
who was basically a witness to a murder.
Mhm.
And he absolutely stole the show for me, stole that episode. And that's just
Uh-huh.
kind of like how much of
A
a great
presence.
actor and presence that he was. You know, considering the fact you had like Gil Grissom there and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
he stole that episode.
he did. He
Fun
did.
fact about Avery
Oh.
Brooks: before he became Uncle Phil, he went for the role of Worf in The Next Generation.
Oh, that would have been an
You could
interesting
see
one.
Oh, that.
He
Not
is.
know that, yeah.
He was one of the most hardcore Trekkies you will ever meet. And he, as soon as obviously in the 80s when they announced it, he fought tooth and nail. Didn't get it, but he fought tooth and nail for it.
Very well.
But he walked out with such an impactful role.
Yeah.
Like
I think,
that.
yeah.
That is such an imprint on everyone.
Very
Yes.
much. Very much so.
Right.
Very well put. I like that one. This is getting more
It's
emotional.
getting
now.
really deep.
Getting
and
deep
it's
in this.
really deep for sitcoms.
Shall we put it this way then? I can guarantee you that there was barely a person of my age who, when Fresh Prince came out, who did not know the entire
Yeah, I
opening
totally
song.
agree with that. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
there was actually. Here I am now. I remember a project I had in history when I was about 12 or 13, something like that, and we had to write a song in history. I think it was about the Incas,
Right.
and mine was a rap to the tune of the Fresh Prince.
Amazing.
Now the question is, I was going to say, can you remember it? Oh, that would have been a callback now if we could get you to do that now. That would have been.
Oh God, it was. I can't remember the first line, but it was something about a year. The first line in the Spaniards came and wrecked our town was like was the first part of my rap in 1630 something. Yeah, but that is how much of an effect because I could not see any other way of getting like the information I needed because you had that much space and that length of time to put it all in. I was like, this is a great song to put all of the information in. I need to pass this history bit.
Oh, I hope you got an ear.
Love it.
Do you know what I used to do, Paul? Because obviously I used to work where Paul used to work. And you know when you used to finish something and then you had like 5 minutes left before the end of your shift, but you needed to look busy? I would sit there and I would write out in a letter, I would write out the entire song from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to make myself look busy. And my man would be like, "Are you just getting that later? You look very busy." I'm like, "Yeah, in West Philadelphia."
Just let you know, I am a professional. I take my job very seriously and do my calls up until the last minute.
I'm not.
But yes, very good pick.
I'm really confused now. So Sarah misses a turn.
Yes, Sarah's.
No,
so
you miss a turn.
I've missed one. So I've missed. So I've that was Sarah's third pick.
Yep.
Yep. So
this is my third pick.
So it's your third pick now.
Right. Okay. Yes. I'm very confused at the moment.
Fine.
I'm gonna go with this one because I really don't think this is going to get the reaction I was expecting. I absolutely adore this program, and if I just went ba 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 ba. It is How I Met Your Mother. And I said and picked it now and oh god, yeah, How I Met Your Mother's going on my list. And I was like, not everyone loves the show, you know. And he was like, you watch it? I was like, no, they don't. It's not a favorite.
It's one of those where the premise was brilliant, the idea was great, and I think going back to when we talked about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, sorry to shit on it, but the ending, this is kind of like belly flopped in the water, like big splash. how to fuck up an ending, shall we say?
I kind of disagree, and just not very, very loosely, very loosely, because I get it, I totally get it, but I actually really enjoyed the last season up until the last episode.
Right.
The fact that the mother. So I'm not a fan of Ted Mosby. I'm going to put that out there right now.
Ted's
I
a
think
dick.
that man is.
He's
He's
an
a
absolute
dick.
Yeah.
He's an
Dick.
absolute dick.
He's very
I
much in the Ross Geller mold.
In a way, but yeah, I did love the fact that when he found the mother, it was his version of like his Lily. He's always looking for his Lily. He's always been envious of Lily and Marshall's relationship, and not in like a vicious way. It's just what he always wanted was what they had, and he finally found his Lily. And then if you look at the mother and if you look at Lily, them two are very, very similar. I did not like the fact that it ended with him going to find Robin.
Yeah.
That's the part I didn't like. But honestly, this program has given me so much joy watching Lily and Marshall grow as a couple, watching their little daft quirks. Anthony now singing "Happy, Happy Semi Day," that is spawned from that show. The Robin Sparkle episodes have to be some of the funniest fucking bit of TV I've
Do
ever
it for the
seen.
girls.
It's when she does Robin Daggers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When she goes into our goth stage, man, it's so funny. Robin was a Canadian pop star, but because Canada's like way behind, she was dressed in the 80s when it was the 90s.
Like proper rip off of Tiffany was.
To the mall today.
Oh god, and Nicole Scherzinger being our best friend in the Beaver show.
Yeah. I think like my biggest I did enjoy it, and I was one of them ones where you binge it, and I will go back and watch it again, but it's not because of the main character. The side characters are the main stars in it, and them are the ones that keep you coming back. As you said, Ted Mosby, isn't that entertaining? And he's
Schmosby. No, he's
a
awful.
bell end.
Yeah,
he's awful. He's an awful person. He's an awful friend. I'm not a fan of him at all. I was over the moon that Robin got with Barney just to get away from Ted.
Yeah,
like I didn't care that Robin got with Barney. Barney Stinson though. There's something about him. He's wrong in so many ways, but when he's right, he's spot on right. Like the way he gets
I get goodwill vibes
Lily.
from Barney.
It's when he goes and gets Lily, where he literally is sitting in the bar when Lily's in San Francisco, and he's talking about Lily, and he's just about to get over her, and he goes to San Francisco, and he doesn't tell anyone. He just goes, gives her a ticket, and says, "You've got to come home because you literally this isn't right," kind of thing. And look, Barney has them little moments, but he doesn't want. Barney will take the credit for everything apart from being nice.
Yeah.
He will not take the credit when it comes to being nice.
He's the best friend that you would always want to have.
Yes.
And you don't realise it. I think that's the thing. It's one of them. He'd be one of them friends that you'd love to have, but you just get used to and kind of not take advantage of, but like not realise what you've got till he's gone.
He is in your corner regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're doing. And I think it's really overlooked because he can come across as a bit of a sex pest. And it gets over.
But so am I, but I'm lovable in that.
Very much so. The episode with the Karate Kid, like me and Anth have always said that Johnny was the true Karate Kid. We have never been a fan of Daniel, and when that episode come on and he said it out loud, we were like, oh my god, other people actually think this as well. It was such a brilliant episode. But it does have some serious notes. I'm not going to say like it's like ground hitting in like it's touching on subjects of the time. It is very lighthearted, but Marshall losing his father was one of the most heartbreaking things I have seen on television. Especially it's hearing that he's gone.
Yeah.
And then it's the voice message at the funeral.
But that's the thing, though. If you take out Marshall and Barney Stinson from that show,
Oh God, it's no,
Yeah.
No.
no.
Do you
No.
do
It
you
can't survive
feel
with Lily and Robin.
do you feel that I mean after the show ended, my friends nicknamed the show How I Met the Silver Medal.
Yeah.
But do you feel
That's quite
because
true.
the ending for the show was already planned by the end of season 1, and they made the 2 kids sign an NDA to basically say you cannot tell anyone how this show ends. Obviously, the show ran on for a lot longer than they thought it would.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
I do have
and
it here.
and do you feel though that because they wanted it to end that way and they never deviated from that, that it damaged the show? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I always say the ending would have been perfect if they cut the last 10 minutes.
If he just doesn't go for Robin, that's the
Yeah.
part, because in that last series you get to meet this incredible woman. Like that character of the mother is amazing.
Yeah.
I actually fell deeply in love with her. Like that was Ted's wife. Like it was that had to be. And they really shit all over that character by allowing him to then go off to get Robin.
Yeah.
It's it didn't matter. It didn't matter that he met her because he was always going to get Robin.
But
I believe, and I don't know if it was true or not, but there was an alternative ending where they're on the platform. They're on the platform, and obviously it's pissing down with rain. He's got the umbrella, and he just goes, "Hi, I'm Ted," and that's it. It just ends. And if they'd have just done that, I think it would have been a lot more well received than what it was, because it just I could sort of admire them for sort of planning an ending, but then they should really take a step back and go, would this fit the narrative that we have painted, or would it make Ted Mosby look like a dick?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it'll be fine. And it's like, it just annoyed me so much.
It annoyed me even more that Ted Mosby is written as a character who wants nothing but love. He is looking for love. He is looking for marriage. He is looking for the babies.
He's a fucking stalker. Let's put it out there.
He really is. But he is. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for that life. And they've wrote Robin as the complete fucking opposite of that. And throughout the whole time, you know they aren't going to work at all. So why the fuck would they end up with each other?
To be fair though, if any one of us acted the way Ted Mosby done, we would be in jail.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think Barney could get away with a lot more than what he could.
Yeah, because he was honest. Like, Schmosby was a bit seedy and creepy. He had serial killer vibes, but I wouldn't be surprised if How I Met Your Mother then Eta would have been like a good sequel.
It's a Slutty Pumpkin episode. I get my skin itches throughout that whole episode. He goes on absolutely ridiculous, and even Barney's like, dude, just move on.
Yeah.
Like, move that you're living in the fucking past.
Yeah.
But again, for Lily, Marshall, Barney, Robin, some of the most funniest episodes I've ever seen. This is still one of my top picks.
No, definitely.
Schmosby aside.
Slapsgiving, yes. We need a slapsgiving. Oh. Who should I slap?
Moving on.
Or Goodwill, I lay the challenge. You can either take 10 slaps at Sunnycorn or 5 slaps and a choice of Paul's desire, but you cannot know when it's going to happen. Do you accept the slap challenge?
Moving swiftly on.
Wow!
Just a little side though. This was for the time. This was some of the stories are of their time, which is which is fine. But in terms of extra content, this was extremely progressive when it came to like the websites you saw in the show. They were all real, registered, and you could go on. Barney Stinson's CV, the website was there, and you could play the video, and it was the full uncut video. Robin Sparkles had a website. Jason Segel did a full song of "You've Just Got Slapped" with a grand piano and a butler. There was so many, like the stuff that you watched during the time. You could go on and go, oh yeah, there's a Slapsgiving countdown. There's that, and it was a real appreciation for a network to go, we're in this digital age now. People are going to look at this and do this, and it made their world a little bit more believable. Like,
Yeah.
you know, when he goes check
Yeah.
the clock, you know, when he phones Barney, he goes check the clock, slapsgiving.com, and he does it. And then when you like, if people went on at the time, it was like the same countdown, and they were like, oh my god, and it was like the next episode, and it was so progressive for that. Yeah,
that's such a good point. I did know about that, but I never really put like the two together. My favorite is asking Barney what he does for a living. And just thinks of anything else to do but actually telling people what he does for a living.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite episodes is, besides like Robin Sparkles and everything, is the burger episode.
Yes.
Oh, with
where they
Regis
go
Philbin.
looking for the
perfect
I
burger.
have never been so I have never felt like Robin in my, like, I am with Robin throughout that whole episode, because that poor girl gets her food handed to her and then taken away from her in a second.
It's
and
an
you know
ATM.
how fucking angry I would get if someone did that to me.
It's an ATM. I can eat the paper.
That is such a good episode.
And it was a thingy was it Regis
Philbin.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's very good.
So, yeah, top three. My pick three is How I Met Your Mother.
Goodwill.
Oh, is this straight back to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's wow. Okay, I needed to
dive
in. You got to keep going.
Oh no! So my third pick. I'm just gonna say, started in the 90s, ended in the mid 2000s, had 8 seasons, but we only talk about 7. I dressed like these people for 10 goddamn years, and I don't care what anyone says. Flares will come back. It is absolutely side-splittingly hilarious even now. It is that 70s show, and I am here for Red Foreman.
What a statement! What a declaration!
You did get so excited when they announced the 90s show.
Yeah.
Like you were like the poster boy saying, "I want people to watch this."
This was the birth of the seal of the approval. I enjoyed that 90s show. It has its flaws. I won't deny that, but I enjoyed it. But that 70s show is, for me, it's because we're getting into like my all-time favorites now. And this is one of those where if I'm feeling down, I can put it on. And even now, 20, 25 years later, I will still laugh. It was so well done that it captured the vibe of the 70s very well. It didn't overly do it. I mean, obviously you had the little transitions between things with flowers and stuff, but it was a show. It's very unique because it was a sitcom for parents and kids at the same time, because obviously if your kids are teenagers and you know when you were teenagers, this is what your life was in the 70s. So my generation grew up with, because we were more or less the same age as the actors in the show, and I mean I know Mila Kunis was literally 15 years old when she was cast.
Was a baby.
She was a baby, and she had a massive crush on Ashton Kutcher at the time.
It's a good job she married him.
But yeah, exactly. But we grew up with these characters, and the friend dynamic I had at the time was very much how it was in that 70s show.
Well, you used to get stoned a lot and sit in a basement.
Sat in a basement, but didn't get stoned because I was a good boy, Paul.
Oh, sorry, I've got Mrs. Goodwill. Michael didn't do any naughty stuff. Michael's a good boy.
I'm a very good boy. But it was very the dynamic.
We'll get that soundbite.
The dynamic was very much the same. But what I loved, and especially happened in the first few seasons of that 70s, if there was something that wasn't in the script that happened, they kept it in purely based on the reaction of the audience. And anyone will know the scene where Eric's sister comes down to the basement and Kelso sees her and he runs over the sofa, slips on the throw on the sofa, and more or less breaks his shin on the table because he slips and he just goes bang into it. And everyone on that soundstage turns and looks and shits themselves. But the audience is so just they are in fits of laughter. And the way Ashton Kutcher just kept his cool and carried on with the scene, it makes it even more funnier because you knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's still hilarious. I think, like I said, the 8th season we don't mention.
Why not? I'm not a big 70s show fan. Like, I've watched it, but not huge.
So for a while later on, Topher Grace wanted to leave that 70s show.
He's called Christopher. But go on.
Yeah, well, he wanted to pursue other acting things. So he wanted to leave that.
Okay.
So in season 8, they wrote him out, and they said he'd gone to Africa.
Yeah.
All right.
And they introduced this other dude, which was no one liked him.
Right.
No one liked him at all, and he was supposed to be the new love interest for Donna. And he was like, but he was one of those where I reference Poochie a lot when I mention him from The Simpsons, where it's like, it's the perfect character. There are no flaws. He can do this, he can do that. And this is what they'd written into that 70s show. And he was just universally hated, like to the point where I think it was halfway through, his role was so bloody diminished that he was in like 1 out of 3 episodes or something like that because no one liked him. No one wanted another love interest for Donna.
Yeah.
Donna's soulmate was Eric. That was established for 5-6 years. And to go, he's gone to Africa. He's perfect man with perfect quiff and teeth. And like people are going, no shit, we don't like him. Bring back Eric. But it was, like I said, for me, it's the ultimate feel good. You've got Red Foreman, who is the hard ass dad, but you know deep down he does it because he loves Eric, and he doesn't want Eric to have the same childhood and the same upbringing that he did. So he's very tough with him. Awesome fashion. Because I still believe this was the show that brought back in the early 2000s flares and
100%.
Yeah, because they were all the rage when this was on, and I've literally got flare jeans right next to me. I am waiting for the day.
You are wearing them at Nerdfest.
Okay then,
okay. Flares and unicorn hats.
Yeah, flares and unicorn hats. And it captured a generation of youngsters, and it also captured their parents because they could.
Are you saying it's a version of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang now? Like, say, child catchers and stuff.
Child catcher.
No paedophiles in that. Actually, no. Let's talk. Moving on. But no, this aside from He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yes.
For me, it's one of the ultimate feel goods, and it reminds me of a very happy time.
Yeah.
And
it's great that I can take you back to that time as well. But
it also for me, so certain sitcoms don't age well. This does, because it was a 90s sitcom set in the 70s, so it's like it's a period. It's a period piece, and it's like this is how they acted in the 70s, and it's like,
so it's like Sammy's version of Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
But I get what he means, though.
No, definitely. No, it's one of them shows where I can watch from time to time. I'll never go out to find it, if that makes sense. It's one of them things I'll not turn off if it's on, but I'll not switch over to put it on.
Well, it's been taken off Netflix now, hasn't it, because of the whole situation?
Yeah. It's a shame, but it's again, taking the art away from the artists. I don't think it should be punished because, as you said, the amount of people that worked on that show and
that's
get the recognition. One individual's
against that whole production. That's a bit unfair.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're on to my third pick. Yes.
Yes. You're back round again.
Cool. So I'll just say it with one word. Very easy. You'll get it straight away. Eagle.
That muted out for me.
That muted out.
That muted.
We could not hear a goddamn word.
Nope.
Eagle. Now hear that?
Yeah.
We heard that. Eagle.
Scrubs.
Eagle.
Yes. one of the
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
yes, yeah, Eagle. Like, it's me. I've failed the podcast
I'm
world.
so sorry.
No, we did get 9 seasons of Scrubs, but I like to think it is
We didn't.
8. Because it's again talking about sticking the landing and finishing perfectly. Scrubs did that and then went, oh no, we're too clever to finish this, or we want to make more. And we got a pile of shit that was like the after effect. But what came before was probably some of the most thought-provoking comedy, or like say shows about friendship that we've had in a long, long time. And I love the fact that when medical professionals talk about realistic situations or shows that show what it's like to work in the American healthcare industry, they don't name ER, they don't name Grey's Anatomy, they always name Scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
And their cast, their characters, every single thing was on point. You loved every single one, even the ones you weren't meant to love, like the janitor, like one of the funniest and hilarious characters in TV history, just for being a bell end or annoying, and you understood why he was a bell end. Because JD, again, I probably do see myself more in JD than I see with any other character, but he is one of the biggest tits and bell ends.
He is. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you said
He
that.
is.
I was like, is he going to sugarcoat JD? Because honestly, he's a knob.
No,
The way he treats Elliot is awful.
he treats
Yeah.
everyone other than Turk. But he is
That's
one of the
true,
most
yeah. He's
self-centered.
one true love.
He is one of the most selfish and self-centered persons that you love, because
Yeah.
unlike Ted Mosby, that you, again, sorry to shit in it, you never fall in love with Ted. You never
Oh
quite,
God, no.
you never
You're
quite get it.
absolutely right.
But there's moments with JD, like the scenes where his dad dies.
Oh.
I know we're talking about like father issues in quite a lot of these discussions here, but the one where his deadbeat dad who just basically leaves him alone, but when he finally does pass away, and how that reacts, and the father figures in his life like rally around him, like how Dr. Cox steps up to the plate and treats him, and his like brother, say, I can't remember his brother's name now, but like that whole family dynamic within the show, and with the like the friendships that the bond and the relationships with them, like each one of them you fall in love with, and it feels realistic. And I know, like say the Zach Braff and Donald, I can't remember his second name now.
Face on.
Face on, yeah.
They're very close in real life, and like say through the show, and you can see that comes through like massively, like within the chemistry between the two. But like the whole element as well, like I know talking about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, using characters or special guests like celebrities on there, but put them in with a reason, like the Brendan Fraser episodes.
Oh God.
Like
no.
my God, like I've never been broken from a TV show as much as some of
never-
the.
Broke me, yes.
I never saw it coming. I don't know if I'm really stupid or something, but I did not see that coming, that he was gone.
Yeah, I think it's the
Spoilers.
first time you're watching it, you don't want it to happen. You're looking
Yeah,
for a
maybe
reason.
maybe I'm being just optimistic that everything's gonna be okay.
But
I was wrong.
and again, like when like the episode what breaks Cox when he puts the infected organs in all his patients,
Yeah.
and all of them
Yeah.
die, and he's fighting to keep them, and the actors as well, like the guy who plays like Dr. Cox, like if he done that in like an actual movie, he would have won Oscars and stuff like that just for the performances. And seeing someone who was indestructible fall apart was just breathtaking to me. And again, I know I joke, I didn't hate the last season, but I think the final episode, what it should have been, where JD's stood in front of the door and he sees what his life's going to be like with Elliot, and like the kids growing up and the friendship growing, that was so special and well put together. And you thought, why do it? Because anything that came after it wasn't going to work. Even if it was the best second part ever, it was never going to take away from that moment that you had. So it's kind of like not spoiling it, because that's why when we're doing top 5 TV shows, Scrubs would have been in any top 5 thing I would normally pick. But when you put it like because it didn't finish where it should have been, so I can't ever say it's going to be in my top 5 favorite TV shows. But top time American sitcoms, it's up there with the best. There's nothing like, again, I know other people probably pick it, but there's different shows that mean more to people for different things. Where this, it's just pure love, and that's what I get from this show as well. Like the love, the friendship aspect, and I just absolutely adore that part.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Look at me going all soft.
Look at you going all soppy.
Yeah.
Oh, must be Sunday night.
So was Scrubs on anyone's pick?
No. Nope. Sorry.
Very.
Nope. You got away with that one.
So yes. So I know we've done an episode on Scrubs as well.
We did. If you want to go and listen?
Yes.
Listen.
So we can play it on a bit. Sarah, so not nearly say episode 4, but pick number 4.
This was one of the other ones that I thought might appear on somebody else's list.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite late to watching this, actually. I didn't catch it when it first came out. I only watched it after the whole thing had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another of my favourite shows just in general. It has one of those like makes me feel good things. It's one of my most quoted shows.
Right.
And I actually have a quote from this show framed in my kitchen.
Oh, cool.
It was a gift from my other half again.
Oh.
And I'm gonna do the quote. You might get it from the quote.
Mm-hmm.
It's a picture of a little fried egg and a little piece of bacon. And over the top it says, "There has never been a sadness not cured by breakfast food."
Mm.
Oh my God. Is it Parks and Rec?
It's Parks and Rec.
Oh, wow. Not on my list.
On mine.
But
On Goodwill's.
It's on Goodwill's. Oh, we've got
you
a
back this
joint
time for fresh
joint.
print.
Cool.
Yeah,
So I've got another doubler.
Yes,
It's a Ron Swanson quote, isn't it?
It's Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
I've said it many, many times when we said things in Facebook and things like that. I've always said Ron Swanson is my spirit animal.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that.
And it is where my love of Nick Offerman started.
I think Dan from Bleeding Marvelous, when she came on, them were her exact words. She actually said that
His
Ron
spirit
Swanson.
animal.
Yeah, she actually said Ron Swanson is a spirit animal,
Yeah,
and that's why she loves Nick Hoffman. I think I'm having deja vu now.
I am not the same person.
No, you haven't got purple hair, so it's fine.
No, I am not the same person. No, I am actually somebody who has worked in government before.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like, I wouldn't say it's relatable because I've not experienced any of the people there.
No.
But I can kind of understand where a lot of it comes from, more on like the we haven't got the finances to be able to push this park forward, or we haven't got the finances to do that.
It's such a boring fucking job.
I know. And I think that might be part of where I relate.
Yeah, it's like the charm of it all is how fucking it doesn't matter. Like what she does doesn't matter, but she really pushes for it.
Her attitude towards it, that get up and go,
determination.
You know, I genuinely believe that Leslie Knope, if she was a real person, she would be the American president right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Leslie Knope for president.
Would be president. There is no doubt about that. Again, it's kind of like all the different personalities of people that you work with coming together.
Yeah.
And although they are conflicting personalities, they're all there for each other. They all really do love each other. You know, even Jerry.
Jerry, he's such a sweetheart. He's so lovely.
Oh, but yes, I mean, oh God,
I just got one thing to say to you.
Mm.
And Perkins.
Goodbye, little Sebastian.
Oh, little Sebastian.
Little Sebastian. Treat yourself.
Oh yeah, treat yourself. What was it?
Yourself.
Champagne. Do you know what? I always
Fine
couldn't get
quality leather goods.
treat yourself. I could never get away with what's his name? Azari
As
and
in
Aziz
a,
Ansari.
yeah,
Aziz Ansari. I could never get away with them. He irritated the shit out of us, even at the beginning of Parks and Rec. And then there's kind of like you see some flaws in him and
Yeah.
vulnerability in him, and you're like, holy shit, that guy's got depth.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Mhm.
I never finished Parks and Rec.
You never
I
Oh,
finished
don't
please
actually know
do.
how it ends, but it's fine. It's been a
Oh.
long time since I
Well,
watched.
I don't think I outright mention it in me notes here, but it kind of like I'll come on to how it ended later on in this, but it's kind of like it is about relationship, but it's not the sole thing. It's like
Yeah,
nobody in this show is solely the girlfriend or the boyfriend or the wife or the husband of a
yeah.
character. They all have their own roles and they
Hmm.
all like have something to contribute to the overall show.
Yeah,
Um, it's one of those shows that I feel like you could pick an episode at random and be
that's.
fine to understand what goes on.
I agree.
Although there are still some jokes in it that you would get if you'd watched the rest of the season beforehand or what have you.
I think you need to watch it from the beginning just for April,
Oh, you
just
do?
to understand April.
Yeah.
Because if you jump in and see April's attitude, and then like kind of you're gonna wonder what's wrong with that girl.
It's one of I genuinely think it is one of the best cast shows I've seen. I mean, you could put Aubrey Plaza and Nick Offerman in anything, and I will immediately either watch it or put it on my watch list.
She was amazing in the Chucky film. That wasn't an official Chucky, if that was called.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but for her, she was fantastic.
Hmm. I mean, then you've got like Amy Poehler, Adam Scott. You've got Chris Pratt
Mhm.
before Star-Lord.
Before he was a dick.
Yeah.
Well,
Andy Dwyer is one of the most lovable and adorable characters you will come
Uh-huh.
across. But he doesn't start off that way.
No.
He doesn't absolutely. I think with the writers, they didn't know. I don't think he was meant to stay there.
Mhm.
And they did an absolute 180
Yeah.
turn on his character, because the Andy Dwyer you get on the first episode, even the second one, is not who you get later on.
No,
Mhm.
no, it's not.
So I don't think they anticipated him staying around, but he was a scene stealer.
Hmm. Hmm.
What about you, Goodwill? What do you like?
This is very high up there for me. This is again a show that I will watch when I am very low, because Leslie Knope is the person you need in your life that is always positive,
Yeah.
enthusiastic, and there for her friends.
Mhm.
You need Leslie Knope in your life. However, my spirit animal is Ron Swanson, because
Oh, look at you, joined.
because he hates the telephone,
He does.
he hates meetings, and he hates any personal interaction.
Did you not enjoy it when I
Yes.
kissed you?
Anyway,
Moving swiftly on.
Oh,
there was a mustache, so I did get a bit of Ron feeling in that. This is for me. It's such a beautiful, positive, happy show that has very little dark undertones in it,
yeah.
and it's just a treat to. It's like Last of the Summer Wine.
Do you know what? I totally get what you mean. I do
Yeah.
It's
understand
like
that
it's
reference.
so harmless
Uh-huh.
and innocent and so funny, and no character is wasted all the way through. And just you get a real sense of this is. I mean, I work with my local council, and it's like you get a sense of this is how they have to deal with the public, and like some of the stupid things that the public come out with.
Yeah, the meetings are hilarious.
And the meetings are hilarious. But now that I do that, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, it's all real. And all the way through, like Andy Dwyer and his relationship with what's her name? Aubrey Plaza's character?
April.
April.
seeing their relationship flourish in the first season 2 and 3 is just so like you're there for them, and you're like, come on,
but it shouldn't work. They are the complete bipolar opposites of each
other. It's that opposites attract thing going on. It's a perfect example of that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I love that Leslie Knope, who is Korean. She's there for her friends. She basically adopts Anne.
She created Galentine's Day. We don't have Galentine's Day without Leslie Knope.
Exactly.
She adopts her, and it's just
she empowers her.
You see a woman who has had, from the start of Parks and Rec, she had no one. She had very little friends. She had a really shitty relationship, and you see her just flourish in everything. And again, this goes back to family is not always your blood.
Yeah.
Family is who you work with, who your friends are. And she is just, like I said, she's the person you need in your life that will pick you up when you are low, that will just, if you feel really down one day, she'll do everything in her power to make you feel better. And the bit with Ron Swanson with his birthday,
oh God.
She just gets it. She just gets it 100% right. By the way, Ron Swanson has some of the best lines in sitcom history, like Home Depot. Hi, do you need any help? I know more than you, and walks away. The bit
permit.
With the permit. Yeah.
The permit is one of my favorite things.
I can do what I want. The pyramid of greatness. I had the side of my PC when I was at my old job, and the diner scene after they've gone to Thiggy's flat, and it's like vegan mushrooms and not a steak, and he goes to the diner and he's like, I want all the bacon and eggs, please. Coming right up, and he goes, son, when I said all the bacon and eggs, I don't think you fully understand what I literally mean.
Ron had an appetite.
All the bacon, all the eggs. Do not leave anything else in the kitchen. Bring it to me. And I'm like, I'm so there for that.
It's when they put a jacket potato or something on his steak, and he's just
straight
like no. But Ron had such an appetite. But I love that his only weakness in this world is Tammy Swanson,
and Tammy
one and two.
His real life wife, Megan
Mullally.
Yes,
and he's got to go back in the
He's when he comes back with the cornrows and the bloody he's been on a bender with her all weekend. Yes, but them two are infectious. Them two are either they work so well together, but I just love them. I love her.
My job, I do a little thing on our social media called Motivation Monday. And a few weeks ago, I had to quote Ron Swanson, and it was just literally never half-ass a thing, never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. Yes. And it's a great lesson. It's a great lesson in life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm going wrong now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would think, like just looking from the outside, you'd think, well, why doesn't Ron just quit if he hates the government so much? But I absolutely love his reasons as to why he's still there. It's like he wants to make it as inefficient as possible. And if you think about it, that is why he's brought people like Tom in, like April in. Somebody who doesn't know how to do anything, and somebody who's so highly unmotivated to do anything that their job requires.
When she schedules the meetings for the 31st of March, she's like, I didn't think it was a real date, and then just everyone's there.
And everyone is. I've got a quote wrote down about that as well. I've been quite open about this around the office. I don't want the parks department to build any parks because I don't believe in government. I think that all government is a waste of taxpayer money. My dream is to have the park system privatized and run entirely for profit by corporations like Chuck E. Cheese. They have an impeccable business model. I would rather work for Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, dear.
He's the people's hero. Ron Swanson is the people's hero. Leslie Knope Ron is one of my favorite characters, but Leslie Knope is she is very close second. My favorite moment of Leslie's is where she managed to mess up her own proposal and has to rewind it and has to kind of go backwards to get to that point of where she's going to get proposed to. She's a fuck. Oh, and the game as well. Adam Scott's game.
The Cones of Dunshire.
Yes.
I actually looked something up about this recently. Did you know they actually made it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And they played it once.
And it doesn't work.
There's going to be a live stream. We're going to buy the game and play it now, are we?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I would have bought it if I could.
Oh, but that is such a good choice. It actually kind of marries into my next one when he is ready.
Well, I just want to say that, I did a lot of looking into like Ron, Nick Offerman. I keep using the names into.
He's called Ron.
You use whatever.
Oh God, I couldn't believe it when I found this out though, because of like Ron's manly, I can build stuff, I go hunting, things like that. But then I found out that Nick Offerman actually has a wood workshop.
Yes, he is a carpenter.
He sells stuff. He is a carpenter and sells stuff and writes books on carpentry and everything like that. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is kind of like it makes me wonder if they've actually based Ron Swanson off Nick Offerman.
Possibly.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we just saw Sarah have a nerdgasm there. So.
I really do. Very rare that they happen.
the bit where he's ill and and Anne's trying to think, and he's like, "Does your family have a history of mental illness and stuff like that?" What was it? What was his weakness? What was it? Weaknesses? Or what was it? Do you do any physical activity? Woodworking and lovemaking.
That's the type of man Ron Swanson is.
I've got to shout. I absolutely loved the episode where Leslie got Ron the tour of Scotland and he ended up in the whiskey distillery. That is one of my favorite episodes because with him just reading as well and like oh,
it's fantastic. It's such a good pick, and for every reason, I totally agree with you. I didn't realize how much I have like a love for Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
So Sammy,
but you don't have Parks and Rec without my next pick, because if my next pick didn't happen, the writer of this wouldn't have taken one of its characters and went, "Oh, I think I'll write a show, and I think she'll be in it," and it is The American Office.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
It's my favorite goddamn show of all time, but you don't have Parks and Rec if you don't have The Office. The guy so obviously Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant are very much a part of The Office, but the writer is the writer who created Parks and Rec, and he stayed with them for about 5 seasons, and then he takes Ann Perkins, can't think of her real name, takes
Rashida
her.
Jones.
Yes, and takes her and says, "I'm going to put you in a new series, and we're going to try and bring them together." And it didn't work, and Parks and Rec was born. But The Office is my goddamn favorite show of all time, and it was such a great segue as well to bring it in. I absolutely adore this program. I only watched it a couple of years ago, but I have seen it half a dozen million times. It sits on in the background. It's like having family in the room when I'm watching The Office. Michael Scott is an asshole, but he's the worst. He is the worst person. You don't want to be friends with Michael Scott, but at the same time, you do want to be friends with Michael Scott. He does have a lot of redeeming qualities. The fact that he can't. He has to go to the dentist because he has soft gums. Nobody has soft gums, but that's just Michael. Michael is he comes up with the most ridiculous things. He does think he's not like David Brent.
No,
David Brent thought he was famous.
Yeah,
and just for having Michael doesn't think he's famous. Michael just thinks he is it.
Yeah.
There is one episode of The Office which it's taken us a long time to actually watch all the way through. God, it is one of the most fucking cringiest episodes I have ever seen in my life, where Michael Scott promises a bunch of children in school that he will pay for their college education because he believes in his heart of hearts that by the time he is 30, he will be a millionaire. And these kids called Scott's Tots, if anyone is an Office fan, you know this episode, Scott's Tots. And these kids go on to graduate, and Michael has to sit in a classroom and tell them he is not a millionaire, but here is a battery for your laptop. He is not paying for their college education like he promised them. And it is one of the most cringiest. Goodwill, have you seen it?
I think Goodwill's taking his face off his.
It's honestly, Scott's Tots.
It's the cringiest.
If you speak to any Office fan, there is not a lot of people who can get through Scott's Tots without having to turn it over to the next one, because you are sitting there and your toes are curled.
Yeah.
It is awful. It's the only episode that does it. I really, when Michael Scott left, Steve Carell left in season 7, he got such a happy ending. Like, for somebody who you didn't generally think it was going to happen, Michael got his happy ending. But then we move on to the next few series, which leads up to the end. And Andy, what's his name? Ed Helms takes the reins as the new manager. And oh my God, how to turn a character into someone quite respectful and lovable into the most monstrous. He made Michael Scott look like a good person.
Mm-hmm.
They really did that character dirty. It was terrible. And that season, when Michael left, that's it. Should have just ended.
Yeah.
Should have just been done and dusted. But you do have some fantastic characters with Dwight, my good buddy Dwight Schrute. He is absolutely incredible. Big, massive nerd. What's his farm? Beets farm. He grows beets, which I didn't know what a beet was until Ant had to explain it to us.
It's just a beetroot.
Beetroot, I know. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. Jim Halpert, played by John Krasinski. There's some problematic issues with John Krasinski. Not John, sorry, his character, Jim Halpert.
I was going to say, John's quite wholesome. I was like, what's he done?
Oh, John's a sweetheart. No, John's a sweetheart. But Jim has some moments where he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
But doesn't that make it more human, though? Because if someone's perfect and without the flaws.
Yeah, exactly. No, you are right. Pam Beasley, she is an absolute sweetheart. But there's so many different side characters, and one of them that's Anne's favourite is Creed Bratton, who is, his real name is Creed Bratton. He is a singer, and he was only meant to be in it for one episode, but there's something that he said that just, they were like, oh no, we could keep doing this. And he's a man of mystery. He's lived lives.
James Bond.
Yeah, oh my God, he's lived lives. And at the end, the last episode, there's a wanted poster on the wall for him.
Right.
And he's just sitting playing guitar, to all of a sudden the police he's in this like white robe and the police just end up taking him away. Creed Bratton is an amazing character. This show is me to a T, because I just love people.
Yeah.
So now I'm a right nosy bastard as well. So I if I'm following a character, I need to know where they ended up. Like, I have to go through the journey with them, and this is the show that gives us it. It's the same setup as Parks and Rec, even. Sorry, it's fly on the wall documentary style, but in the Office, you actually get to see the documentary.
Yeah, it's always a thing. Like I very struggle with cringe humour to the degree where this is the ultimate cringe, not more than the UK Office.
The UK one's the worst.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant.
But like I say, because I felt like I've still not got past the first season with this, because it felt like just a carbon copy of trying to be a carbon copy of the original. I know after the first season it goes a different route, and for the better from what I've heard.
Yeah, Oh no, it is. Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant wanted it that way. They wanted it to be an absolute carbon. The first episode is a carbon copy, not just it's word for word. It's changed. There's some things that are changed to fit an American audience. Like David Brent said, I call her Camilla Parker Bowles, well, not to her face. And he says, I call her Hillary Rodham Clinton, but not to her face.
Yeah.
So there's parts that are changed for America, but that's what they wanted. They were like, lay the groundwork. Get the characters in place, and then you can fuck off and do whatever you want, and we'll not stand in the way. But that was the idea of getting the Office off the ground, because they knew that English to America if an American people are doing it, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it was their idea, but from season 2 onwards, it is fantastic.
No, I know you love it. I know you bang on about it every second you get. Bless you.
I very much do. I love it.
But no, that leads quite nicely into my next pick, my fourth pick.
Excellent.
So, because The Office is very much about the characters rather than the story.
Yes.
My next pick, I toed and throwed about this one. This is the one that caused me so many issues, because these two shows, I'll name the one that I left out. Married with Children was going to be in, but I took it out not because I didn't like the show, because I couldn't remember. If you think about the episodes, I can't remember many of the episodes.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
can just think of the characters, because I love the characters. I love Peggy. I love Al Bundy. I love like Christina. Just Christina Applegate, just absolutely amazing. But again,
Beautiful.
teenage crush all the way. But this one took it out. It's more of a modern one because I love the characters more, but I can remember the episodes more, and I can remember certain episodes that I absolutely died laughing. And again, they took brave decisions with this season, this show as well, because they knew it was getting cancelled, and they went, right, they're going to cancel us. Give us one more season to finish off the show. So they give the permission, and they did like a last season where they done like a bit of a time jump, and they kind of finished it. And no one will probably guess this from what talking is. Laura, I think Laura's the only one. If I should know she's not on, would know what I'm talking about. New Girl.
I've never watched it. I've often thought about it.
It is like Zoe Deschanel, like being Zoe Deschanel, but the characters who surround her are absolutely amazing. Like, they live in this little loft, and like Nick, Schmidt, and Winston are the polar opposite of three different people that you will ever meet, and they bounce off each other so well that you're actually gutted that they're not your friends.
Yeah.
Like Nick is the ultimate downtrodden loser, where he's lost his will of life, and he's just the angriest man in the world, angrier than me. I relate so heavily to Nick. It's just hilarious. But it's basically his journey through the show, and his story is amazing. Where Schmidt is the ultimate douchebag, where he'll say the most inappropriate thing, but his heart's always in the right place, and he's just so lovable. And Winston is just the weirdest cat you'll ever meet. And if you see any of the episodes where Winston does his pranks, where it's just absolutely crazy, you'll either do something so shit that it's like, that's not a prank, or to the point where shit, he's going to kill someone.
Oh, okay.
Like the episode that always makes me cry with laughter is Jess's best friend's getting married. And basically, it's like she's having a traditional Indian wedding, and Schmidt's madly in love with her, and he looks at her once, and then he decides we need to sabotage the wedding because she doesn't want to get married. So they do stuff, and at this time, Nick and Jess, that's Zoe Deschanel's character, are dating. So Nick's like, I'm not getting involved with this. I don't want to be ruining this. I want to be a good boy for Jess. And everything that they do, Nick gets the blame for. Like, from the point where they want some music to play, and they used Nick's tape of Cotton Eye Joe, and it's the first time I've heard Cotton Eye Joe on a TV show in so many years. But I was like, yes, going back to me, you bouncing around, going, whatever happened to Cotton Eye Joe? But
that still gets played in my bloody car.
But then Winston decides that he needs to take it up a level, and he unleashes a badger.
What, an actual badger?
An actual badger at the wedding. And it gets into the air ducts, so because they start worrying, they say, shit, we need to get this badger out of the air ducts. So they go into the air ducts to get the badger out, and they're going, why is these people in the air ducts? And Winston's just like, yeah, hi Jess, thanks for joining us, this is where we die. And then the badger starts biting them, and it chaos ensues. But at the whole part of it, she doesn't get married, and because she loves Schmidt as well. So the romance and the relationships in again, that's where I kind of like love these shows from, is the relationships and the bonds are formed. But the whole
Oh.
story, like there's a week season where unfortunately Zoe Deschanel, like to write her out because she gets pregnant, they say she goes on jury duty and they bring Megan Fox in to replace her, and it's just a weird dynamic where she's dating Nick and she just doesn't kind of feed with the other characters as well. But they're soon rectified when Zoe Deschanel pops the baby out and bring her back.
Baby
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just pops it out. But like I said, the reason why I like it as well is because it could have been cancelled at a certain point, but
Yeah.
like the showrunners give them a season to finish off, and the way they did it logically, like to show them where the characters are. Like Nick and Jess were still together. Spoilers, anyone? Sorry. Nick could become a favourite sort for Schmidt, and like say had been married and had a kid. Winston was about to give birth to his because his girlfriend's like absolutely batshit. He like becomes a policeman always through this. But honestly, it's one of the most funny and wholeheartedly wholesome TV shows that I've seen, and it's just entertaining. Like the point where like say the Winston steals a cat off his ex-girlfriend because she cheats on him and stuff like that. Says you don't deserve this cat, and then the cat becomes
Amazing.
a big premise. Like it's the most weird-looking cat in the world, and he starts trying to get his cat to date other cats because he thinks his cat's lonely, and this cat woman thinks that she's coming to date Winston, but Winston's like, oh no, I'm not interested in you. I just want my cat to fuck your cat, and it's just it's weird, but it's so nice at the same time. But yeah, New Girl that knocked out Married with Children. Sorry.
Excellent choice. Right.
So
On
final
the last
pick time.
pick.
Yes.
Are we
Last
going to
pick.
see if Sarah and Goodwill have the same choice?
Now, this is one that I don't actually think anybody else has picked.
Oh.
It's
Bold.
well, it's a in my head it was a little bit of a curveball for like a sitcom category because it's an animated series.
Oh.
Oh.
And I don't think it's as popular because I've seen nobody else mention it in the group so far. One season of it is on Netflix. It then got cancelled by Netflix and picked up by Adult Swim. So seasons 2 and 3 are actually on all 4.
Right.
And it stars Ali Wong and Tiffany Haddish. And it's got Stephen Yeun in it, who was Glenn in The Walking
Yeah.
Dead. And it's Tuca and Birdie.
Oh, never seen it.
Never heard of it.
It's from the creator of BoJack Horseman.
Right.
Right.
So it's batshit crazy then.
Well, yeah. It's from the creator of BoJack Horseman, but it's kind of like it's not that. It's a different story altogether. It's kind of a similar vein of, you've got the anthropomorphic animals. So you've got Tuca is a toucan,
Right.
and Birdie is a song thrush.
Does it have a koala in? I think I've maybe.
I haven't seen a koala.
No,
I think you're thinking of Captain Koala.
Possibly.
It's quite a recent thing anyway, this one. It's only been out I think it was 2019 it first came out.
Right, okay.
But I've watched it quite a few times now, and it's one that I've kind of related to a couple of subjects on as well. I mean, there's songs in it, there's absurd things in it, there's like proper psychedelic moments.
I'm in for the singing.
I'm in for psychedelics.
Oh, there's a song in it called "I'm Losing My Shit," and it's like the most relatable song I've ever heard in a sitcom. It's there's the supporting cast. Richard E. Grant is in the supporting cast.
Wow.
And you know what? It's kind of like it's a friendship between two 30-year-old birds.
I love that premise.
Yeah.
They live in the same apartment building. Tuca and Bertie used to live together, but Tuca has moved out because Bertie is moving in with her boyfriend, who is Stephen Young. Tuga's cocky, carefree. You know, she doesn't hold down a job very long. She is
So it's Goodwill.
she used to be an alcoholic, but is now completely sober. So I don't think that applies to Goodwill after what he showed us his can earlier.
He's never completely sober.
Birdie is highly anxious. You know, she portrays social anxiety quite a lot.
Mhm.
She's daydreaming. She's kind of like she works in an office, but her career she wanted to always be a baker type of thing. So she cooks a lot in the kitchen.
Mhm.
They navigate their careers,
Mhm.
sex, sobriety, sexually transmitted diseases, mental illnesses, and their own um loving but ultimately codependent friendship.
Right.
You know, it's fun and relatable, can be heavy, you know.
Hmm.
Bertie's anxiety is probably one of the most accurate I've seen portrayed in a TV show.
I'm gonna
Um,
check
Oh
this out.
wow.
Donna's saying she's watched it as well in the chat, so
yeah.
so people has actually seen it.
Um, I mean, I appreciate that not everybody experiences anxiety and health in the same way, but I kind of related a lot to how she deals with, you know, there's an episode where she has a lot of anxiety about giving
Mhm.
a presentation at work, so she calls in sick, but then she has more anxiety because
She's
Tuka
got
asks her to go to the shop with her.
yeah.
Um,
No, I relate heavily. The amount of times I've nearly packed in this podcast this week, like poor Sammy's had to talk us down so many times.
You can't leave.
One of us.
I mean, I love some of the characters in it as well because it's not just like anthropomorphic animals. There are a few
Yeah.
humans in it, but
Mhm.
there's also kind of like humanoid plants.
Right.
So they're kind of like green from their neck down to their feet, but then instead of having a head, that is where like the cactus is,
I would
or
love
like
to
the
know the drugs on
leaves.
these people who make these shit. Like
Oh,
it'll be.
but
Yeah.
the plants don't talk very often, but when they do, they don't have any eyes or nose or features. But when they talk, they have this little mouth that
That sounds
opens on their neck.
terrifying. Oh.
It comes to but yeah, it's kind of like there's some really weird elements of it. Like they go around the town, like some of the birds can fly, but some of them can't.
Mhm.
There's a train which is a snake.
Yeah.
But when you open the doors of the like it's actually got carriage doors on the side of it. So when it pulls into the station, that just the side of the snake opens up. But when you go inside, it's an actual train carriage. It's just kind of like there's
This
some
sounds
weird elements.
amazing.
So take
It
it with a
sounds
pinch
a
of
bit
salt.
trippy, like.
It's a bit trippy, yeah.
I think we found Paul's new moonshine.
But
Each week it's going to be telling us what happens.
yeah, it's
This is the
you
peachy
know
recommended.
it it does touch on things like inappropriate contact in the workplace.
Yes, Goodwill.
It does touch
You
on
kiss
abuse.
me. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that bit. It does touch on abuse. It touches on like personal challenges and overcoming these challenges, and you know,
Mhm.
following like your dream
Yeah.
of going into what you always fancied.
Mhm.
Um,
No, it
you know,
sounds.
it kind of has this like weirdly, it kind of understands life without being too profound at the same
Right.
time. Oh, there's also
You've
like
definitely left your heavy pick for the last one.
there's also loads of like sight gags and like background jokes and things like that as well.
Mhm.
I just think it is like, oh, one thing I did also like about it, I rewatched it recently in preparation for this because I thought, you know what, I want to try and pick
You've
out a few more
prepared,
things.
bless you.
You really
Well,
have.
I wanted to watch it anyway, so I thought, you know what, if it's going to be in my list, I might as well do it now.
Mhm.
Um, there's something in it like there's an episode later on where like there's like a hen do going on and there's a stag do going on, and one of the members of the stag do actually has one of the hearing aids that are anchored into the skull,
Mhm.
Oh
and
yes, yes,
it's just
the
kind of
implant at the back.
yeah, the implant just here. The thing is, right, it's not addressed in any way, and you would blink and miss it type of thing. But I noticed it on this watch through, and I'm just kind of like, it's really good that it's just kind of like there. It doesn't feel the need that it has to address this. It's just a normal, accepted, everyday thing in life.
Yeah.
That bit of representation, and I just acknowledging disabilities and conditions is important,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the
Massively.
way this was just kind of like it's
Normalizing it
just
at the same
normal.
time. Yeah.
It's normalized. It's never
Yeah.
mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it's a blink and you miss it, as I said.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I like it when things shows do that as well. It's not like this is the big representation thing, like big like red like glowing things to show it, like sticking in your face. It's when it's done right or done in the right way, it means more.
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah, and also it does actually even get in Whoopi Goldberg at one point.
Oh, I'm all
Oh,
in
we
for
good
Whoopi.
will's in it for that.
It had some pulling power as
She's
well.
in Trek, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she
I
is.
I genuinely thought that, while Netflix was a good place for it to start out, I don't think it kind of like captured it. Whereas
Yeah.
I think going to Adult Swim
Give it a little bit of freedom and a little bit of
gave it that bit of like oomph that it's kind of found its home.
yeah.
But again, it was one of these that was cancelled after season 1, and there was just kind of like a massive online support for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, that's
Adult
nice.
Swim swooped in and took it up there. And
They
at the
swum
minute,
in.
they swum in. I don't know if there's going to be any more seasons at the minute, but
Hopefully.
hopefully, yeah.
No,
I
cool.
just
No,
yeah.
it's a great pick. Like as you said, it's always interesting, like getting one that nobody's like by the reactions, it's not on anyone's
Yeah.
radar type
Yeah.
thing. So, it definitely was something I'll check out because I'm all up for the like I say the weird cartoon things.
Weird
No,
animals.
Weird animals. It sounds like say wrong, but no, I am quite interested. If Donna's into it, it must be weird as well because she's into weird
Yeah.
shit. But yes, no, good last pick. Got us thinking. So who's next? Is it Goodwill or Sammy?
Me.
It's Sammy. We'll go for Sammy.
It's me. Well, mine actually is quite similar to what you were saying. Is this is where my last pick is placed in is complete and utter normalcy of things that in this world sometimes aren't looked at as normal.
Mm-hmm.
And this place created a world I want to live in, massively want to live in. I've just finished it last night for my second run, and it was only the other day that I actually realized what the title meant. This is going to just prove how thick as fuck I really am. It is the fantastic Schitt's Creek.
Right.
It wasn't until me and Ant were sitting in bed the other day and I'm watching it, and I went, Schitt's Creek. They're up a creek with no paddle, and he went, fucking yes they are. And he actually looked at us and went, Sam, are you being serious? Have you just gotten the name? And I went, I think so. Yeah, Schitt's Creek. It is. I can't describe how much I really just want to live in their world of acceptance, of love, of family, of growth, of just the amazing fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to live in that world.
You just want to be Catherine O'Hara, don't you? Though that's the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Who doesn't?
Absolutely. Honestly, if I had to spend the rest of my life talking like Moira Rose, I would. It's such a hard one to put into words. I'm coming off the back of watching it for the second time, and last night I was just sat in tears, just absolute. But it was happy tears.
Yeah.
It was sad. It was kind of like actually, it was kind of a mixture of both. I'm sad it's ending. I want more, but at the same time, didn't
the rumor that they were doing a film?
What do you call him? What's the dad called?
Zachary Levi, is it?
No. It's Dan Levy.
Levy, sorry.
Oh my God, what's the dad's name? He's huge. He's massive.
Is it the guy?
I can't think. Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy, that's the one. Yeah.
Eugene Levy.
He's the pie putter's dad.
He is. But he let it slip in an interview that he wants to return back to Schitt's Creek. And I don't know if I would want them to. We got it. The ending was perfect. Moira and Johnny were off to California, that everything was looking up for them.
They got out the creek.
They got out the creek.
Found the paddle.
Or they didn't
Eventually,
need it.
Alexis has finally found her path. She's finally getting to the point of being a spoiled little brat to an actual working woman, and was going to New York. David and Patrick were living there. Like, don't come in and ruin it.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I've never watched it. I know I've seen people love it, but it's never like when I've even seen the trailers and stuff. And said I've never thought I need to see this, but I do hear good things about it. But it might be just be not my personality or my personal taste type thing. But I know I've never heard anyone say they hate it. That's the thing.
Watch it, if not just for Catherine O'Hara. Holy shit, that woman she is hilarious. Her accent aside, some of the lines that she comes out with. One of the first episodes, she's like, "Will you shut that door like the nail on the coffin that this is my life?" She is hilarious. Her and our wigs, our ladies, as she calls them. But again, Moira is not the best person. She will literally climb over Alexis's back to get herself as the forefront, but then will quickly backtrack to put it right. Put it right what she's done wrong. But she's an incredibly selfish person. She thinks nothing about when she's leaving, nobody knows about it. She literally in her head she is going. Johnny's got this sale, it is happening, she is moving. And she walks into the Jazzy Girls meeting room and there's a cake there. And instead of looking down and looking at this cake, she starts cutting it up and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I'm leaving." And not even for her. Nobody knows.
It's a very
Nobody
self-centered.
knows. But that's how she gets away with it because of her charm and her naive. Like, she's a naivety. She's incredibly naive. David, who's played by Dan Levy, is one of the best, if not best characters in. Like, he is fantastic. Some of his quotes, just the best. Eat glass.
Eat glass.
He tells Alexis to eat glass.
Okay.
And just storms out the room. They're not scared to throw a fuck in there.
Right.
They don't mind a curse word now and again. But David, so the whole thing is where everyone's accepted. There is no question on David's sexuality. There is no question with Patrick. There's an actual episode where Patrick is terrified of telling his parents. Absolutely terrified of telling his parents that not only is he's gay, he's in a relationship with this man, and his parents are more upset that he felt that he couldn't come to him. They didn't give a shit that he was gay.
Yeah.
They were just upset that he couldn't come to them first because they thought they had a better relationship than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it all works out. Like, there's no animosity whatsoever, but there's just total acceptance. There's no prejudice, there's no racism, there's no homophobia. Even David gives this great line, which is actually, there's a documentary of the making of the last season, and how many people have used this analogy to help them come out, was the wine bottle. I don't know if you've heard it, because his friend is not sure. She's not sure about him. Is he gay? Is he straight? Is he bi? Like, when she was like, "Where do you fall?" And he was like, "Well, I like red wine and I like white wine, but I also like rosé." And he says, "I like the wine and not the label." Does that make sense? And it was such an amazing way of saying, I love.
Yeah.
Basically. And it's such a beauty. Like, people in Pride wear that saying as a t-shirt. I love the wine and not the label. But yeah, Schitt's Creek it's beautiful, it's lovely. There's nothing like grim undertone in it, and it's not something that you can actually just walk away from it and then come back to the roses and just be happy that you're in their company again. But it's a fun ride, and it's my final pick.
Very nice.
Have it.
Goodwill, take us home with your last one, then I'll finish us off.
Nice.
Oh my.
You can't pick Star Trek.
No, you cannot.
Technically, they do have a sitcom now, but no, it's not that. When I was deliberating what is my favorite sitcom, obviously there are absolutely tons to pick off. I chose this. I chose this because of the memories it invokes, the time it was set, and it for me, it's a hard one to really describe, but I'll try my best.
I was going to say, please try, Goodwill. Otherwise,
yeah, it's you'll understand why. So
he's leaving us in
again.
Again,
it's a 90s. It's a 90s sitcom. It is a 90s sitcom. It had 8 seasons.
All right.
Set in Detroit.
Okay.
Starring Tim the Toolman.
Oh my God!
Home.
Hello there, chum.
You've gone with Home Improvement.
Home.
That's amazing.
And I will tell you why.
Was it for Pam Anderson?
If he's no, you pervert. If my parents are listening, it's probably going to be the first time that they hear this. So, Tim Taylor reminds me of a time, because when Home Improvement was out in the UK, I didn't have my dad. So Tim Taylor was very much the father figure for me, and how I wanted to have a father, because he was into cars, he was restoring cars, he was a family man, and he was insanely funny. And for me, it was how I wanted to have it's who I wanted to have as a father. I wanted Tim Taylor as a father because he was hilarious. I mean, yes, he absolutely fucked up all the time and stuff like that. But for me as a young person, that's who I thought, because my father is into cars, has built cars, has restored cars and tractors, and for me, I always associated Tim Taylor with my dad, all the way. Even to this day, I will still associate Tim Taylor with my dad, and it means a lot to me, because it's like watching a childhood I never had, and not in a sad, not like in a really depressing way. But it's watching that, it gives me wonderful memories of, I wish that was my dad. I wish I could restore that with my dad. And just the whole, it was never nasty. There was no malice. It was lighthearted. It was a family sitcom that was genuine. It was loving, and it just fills me full of love watching this, because it just reminds me about the 90s, which I love. I love the 90s.
Let's go back.
I love
let's go back.
I love the simplicity of the 90s, where we were just on the cusp of the internet, but it was all about TV. It was all about going out with your friends, and it was about let's restore a car with your dad. And the neighbors, Wilson. I absolutely adored Wilson. And the little tidbit, because obviously with a sitcom, they have a roll call before the recording starts, and it's like, it's Tim Allen, it's and then they introduce the character of Wilson that comes out, and every time he had a little fence thing that he would hold over his mouth, so no one could see what he really looked like. And it was so funny. But the whole show, I can watch, and it's got really daft parts, it's got really funny parts, it's got really touching parts sometimes. But for me, sorry, go on.
It's got a serious undertone in it, and some of them. The episode where Randy thinks he's got cancer.
Yes,
there's some really like, for all of you, and it's lovely though that's what you've taken away from it though, Goodwill. You took the the happiness away from that program. Home Improvement was massive in my house. My dad is a huge Tim Allen fan, and it would love to remind me he was a convict. Look what he did with his life. Would love to tell me that every time that he came on. I was like, what do you expect of me? Like,
Sammy's behind bars.
I know,
Prisoner cell block H style.
there was some, but it wasn't all the time. So it was always the family feel to it was there, but they did have some moments where they kind of like touched on some heavy stuff. But the fuck was that?
It's Tim Allen coming to give you the tool time.
Derek O'Connor is back and he's pissed.
I generally don't know what that was, but that didn't sound good at all. Continue. I'm just going to text my husband.
No, but yeah, like I said, I did. Like say the dynamic between Tim and Al were always like say the highlights for me as well. The kind of mutual respect and hatred between the two was like say always quite a fun, like bouncing off each other type situation to have.
The set pieces. What's up?
He's at the toilet. Well, that's what I heard. Someone opening the door of the toilet, and I'm freaking out over that. Sorry, guys.
Some of the pieces they had, like Tool Time, was always hilarious. Like when they had the paint, and they were like, this computer can scan any color, and you can paint it. And he just paints owl onto the wall, and it's just like plaid and stuff like that. But then they do the because obviously Binford dies, the person who founded Binford, and again, it's like he's lost a father, because in the show, Tim Taylor lost his father at 40, and there was there's episodes where he's like, what if I go at 40 and stuff like that, and then he loses the founder of Binford as well, and and it's quite a touching episode. But then they do the 21 gun salute with nail guns, and it just starts randomly firing nail guns into the audience, and everyone's shitting themselves. And it's stuff like that, but it's the set pieces that they did where they crushed Jill's car, because he's just being a dick. But even the ending where it's just like his show gets big and he's moving to Chicago, and he ends up just fucking taking his house on a boat.
Yeah.
To Chicago.
I think this is one of the shows that give me MILF fancy as well, because Jill was absolutely a proper fox.
Jill was stunning.
Yeah.
I've been to the set. So I've been to the set of I've been to the set of the house and been to the set of Tool Time, and my dad was like in his element, like on that, like he absolutely loved it. And I think he bought the last season when we were in America just so he could watch the ending, because he wasn't getting it at home. So I've probably seen the last episode more than I've seen anything else.
Because like I said, for the longest time I didn't have a fatherly influence, and Tim Taylor embodied who I wanted to have in my life as a father, and he was like the quintessential, for me, the perfect dad. And it's sad, but it also gives me really warm memories of watching Home Improvement, and in that time period of the early 90s, early to mid 90s, where it was just, I know you look at it through rose tinted glasses, but for me it was a simpler time. It was just a really warm, loving time.
It was the 90s, man.
It was the 90s, and I just, rewatching it now, I still laugh. I still appreciate it for what it is, and I will always go back and get those warm, fuzzy feelings of that show and what it represented to me, and what someone who didn't have a father, what he wanted.
Yeah.
No, it's
I love that goodwill.
And I even didn't take the piss out of it in particularly for that one, so it was a nice sweet one there. So well done. Because I'm getting told off by Donna for being too mean to you. She's actually sent us a message saying be nice to the goodwill. Sorry, Donna. But yes. So are you ready for me to take it home?
Take it home.
Yeah, you take that home. Sorry, I'm just finding out of my husband what on earth is going on outside.
He's just having a shit. Let him have a shit in peace. God damn it.
That wasn't what I heard.
But God, he was just having a poo thing, dropping the kids up in the pool.
He says, I've literally walked from the bedroom to the bathroom. That's it. It's like, oh, okay.
God,
Right.
just
Sorry.
just having a cheeky wank, leave him alone.
Okay.
But yes,
Last one.
last one, yes, because it's been a long one tonight. So thank
It's
guys for
been a
sticking.
long
I wasn't
one.
expecting it to be this long,
Oh
but
my god,
yes,
3 hours.
yeah.
It'll be over by the time.
But I think that's why this was like, say, I can understand why it's so long now when you think about it, because these shows, they stayed with us more than they've stayed with us than certain films or certain stories, just because
Listen,
we are
they've
the
stayed longer than some family members.
Possibly, yes. So this one, I'm going to go with the warm and fuzzies as well, just because this was the first American sitcom I watched with my dad, or my dad let us watch with him, and I absolutely adored it throughout the years, and like the characters in this was just absolutely brilliant. Give us some big stars as well. Again, Sarah guessed it right off the start with us naming the theme tune to this episode was Cheers. Just it holds up so well, and there are not many TV shows of the time, and the jokes and the comedy. I watched it again about 2 years ago, and the jokes still stand up. Everything still lands. Ted Danson is still a god. I love this man, and I love, like, say, Sam in this character. I've always been a big fan of Ted Danson, whatever he does. Like, he done a show called Becca that only lasted a few seasons, which was absolutely brilliant as well. Like, The Good Place. This guy doesn't get the recognition that he deserved for some of the things he's done, like in acting. But Cheers was just the quintessential American lifestyle that I want. And I was lucky as well when I got old enough to go into a bar and to drink with friends, that I had a place like Cheers, like the Borough in Sunderland, as I talked about like so fondly before, where I didn't have to make plans, didn't have to text someone to say, are you going to be here? You could just go in and everyone would know your name. Little reference there, sorry.
Look
but,
at him.
But yes, like every character and like say had their own little quirks. Like say, I could have put Frasier in this one, but to me,
I'm shocked that you didn't actually.
Cheers and Frasier are kind of in the same realm.
You can't have one without the other.
The other type thing. So it's kind of like a cheat here by getting like Frasier in this, because they did have crossovers and it did give us so many different things. But like even just like little things like Norm Peterson, just I love Norm. Like Cliff Clavin, the most irritating person in the world, and we all know a Cliff Clavin. We've all got a Cliff in our lives, and you hate and love him. You hate him and love him in so many. The most innocent and beautiful character in the world, in Woody Harrelson's Woody, was just absolutely adorable.
In him.
Yes, and all of them worked so more. Till the firecracker that was Carla as well, that you were equally terrified and intrigued who she was going to try and kill next. And her little rivalry and like combatants with Cliff and Carla, knew they hated each other so much, and just how they would bounce off each other. And again, the story-wise, there wasn't really many stories other than the predictable ones, like who Sam's banging next, or is it going to be Rebecca, or is it going to be Diane? And Diane Chambers is the most crazy bitches.
Diane Chambers needs to go away.
No, don't like her.
She is not a good person.
Don't like her.
This is the program that my dad, when I've told him he lists, this is the reason why my dad nearly asked me to leave the house. It's because this was not on there. I am actually named after the main character. My name comes from him. I was always a Sam. But I had to add the anther because I was a girl. But yeah, it's been in my house since I can remember. Like it's always been there, and I always used to love telling people I'm named after him.
This was made the year I was born. 1982 was the year this came out.
Well, see,
showing me age there, but yeah, I just think as again, a lot of this TV shows in the 80s we shouldn't or can't go back to due to certain reasons. Like, if you say the Cosby Show, people shudder. Say Roseanne, people kind of wince now.
This is the reason why that's not on my list for, because Roseanne is actually one of my favorite programs, and I swapped it out for something else because I'm not ready to have that conversation with people about her.
No, but Cheers. other than Kirstie Alley's Scientology thing, still, like I say, like I know she passed away recently, so
I
not
know,
to make
rest in
jokes,
peace, Kirstie.
but
No, but she, do you know what? The woman was on Celebrity Big Brother,
mhm,
and she literally has a heart of gold.
mhm.
She came across so well in that. She is just coming across as an incredibly loving and lovely person who loves to drop a name.
Mhm.
If you ever go back and watch some of her best bits, she loves to drop a name.
But no,
John Travolta being one of them.
Look at Taunton was a classic, but yes, that's another
Was.
podcast for another day. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I couldn't not have Cheers in my list. It was the first one I put on. Like I said, there's ones that's kind of dissipating. Like Married with Children was a big one.
Yeah.
Frasier went on and off, but I like Frasier for same reasons I love Cheers, just because it feels like a continuation. And with us getting more Frasier coming out soon, I am a little bit more excited to see. But without David Hyde Pierce, I don't know how well that'll work, but we'll see.
I think it'll be sad.
Going back
I
to
think that's what
Boston,
it'll
aren't
be.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be really sad. But I really do. Do you know what? I would love for us to do a Cheers / Frasier crossover episode. I think that'd be really cool.
Cool. Well, I'll not say too much more about it, but
No, my God, no, I don't want to. I didn't mean to stop you.
oh no, that's fine. It's just it's one of them things where it's just, as you said, you can talk about certain episodes or like different things, like the rivalry with the other bar where all of them shave their head and get the different initials, and Sam doesn't want to shave his head even though he was wearing a wig for most of the time as well. That was always like the in joke. But and like say the Carla with her husband who was a hockey player and how he cheated on her, and then like say how the like kind of bounced back from that. The Woody and I can't remember her name now. Was it Stephanie? The relationship, how she was like really rich, and just both of them were just the most idiotic, stupid young people in the world, and
Yeah.
how they played on Woody's innocence. But how nice the beer always looked in Cheers as well, though.
It looked
that
amazing.
always one made us
The
thirsty.
drinks looked amazing, especially when it was Norm's beer and he's like that tankard glass. Yeah, that looks so refreshing, and I couldn't think of anything worse to drink.
But I always laugh as well because with it being an American show, I never understood why Sam would always drink them tiny bottles of water. It used to be like this little rounded bottle that I was like,
not us.
I was like, why is he doing this? But yeah, there's so many like I think that's where I fell in love with American culture through Cheers.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the thing where the love of TV did blossom from. So that's why I always wanted it. It was always going to be the last one, but we've not had as many crossovers as I was expecting.
Actually, I thought me and you would have a bit more, but never mind.
But yes,
that was fun.
Very shocked that no one mentioned Friends.
It's because
do you know it's one of those things that it's great and you can go back to it, but is it really your favorite?
No.
Like, is it really something that like you could literally go out of your way to watch from start to finish, and then when you finished it, go back and watch it again, like what I can do with some of my favorites?
It's the same what they say about like great songs. There's amazing songs that you love to hear, like you loved hearing, but you've heard it so many times, you wouldn't be sad if you didn't hear it again. Like Guns N' Roses, "Welcome," "Sweet Child of Mine."
Sweet Child
I
of
loved
Mine,
that song as a kid, but if I didn't hear it again, I wouldn't be sad.
Yeah,
It's the same with Friends. I've watched it that
Friends
many
like
times now. I wouldn't be sad. Where the shows I've mentioned, I kind of want to go back and watch now. Now I've talked about it.
Me too. I'm like, I want to go and watch an episode of The Office now before I go to bed and really pee Anth off.
But yeah, and it's like the quotability factors and stuff like that. Where Friends was very much of the time. I think a lot of people hold on to certain memories and stuff. Like I could have mentioned, like The Big Bang could have been in there, but I think
we did a whole episode on it. So
no, but like, again, it could be in your top 5, but then you've got to think about which ones jump out, which one's your heart and your heart, and why. Yeah. So that these are the ones I think are more special, and it's glad that we've had quite a mixture. Like, yeah, and Sarah blown us out the water at the end with a cartoon that none of us have seen. So, so yeah, that was like the big surprise. But yes, Goodwill getting all emotional and down with the kids and stuff. Sorry, I'll give you a hard time. You know I love you. You've got
We
that.
love you, Captain Goodwill.
Yes, I'm going to get your name changed on Deepole to Captain Goodwill as well. So that's going
Captain
to be
Goodwill.
Yes.
Oh no.
Right, let's get some housekeeping out the way with before we say goodbye.
Yes.
So we got what's coming up.
So before we finish off as well, I just want to say a big shout out to the Avant-Garde Wrestling guys who put on an amazing show last night where we went, me, Jake, Donna, Grant and his lovely wife, we went and was not part of the show, but well, I kind of was. Like I say, the wrestlers took a bit of a fancy. I had one of the wrestlers sitting on my knee at one point. That was interesting. But yes, like what a show! And if you're a fan of wrestling or a fan of entertainment, like as a live spectacle, they're doing things differently to what you've seen before. You've not seen anything like this, so I would highly recommend it. And again, I know I've spoke to the guys today, like from last night, and they've got another show on the 1st of July, and I think they are hoping to come back on the podcast to talk about it again.
Excellent.
So
we are there with Belle. I will be there with bells on.
Yes.
July is my birthday month, so
yes.
there you go.
We are taking a little bit of a relaxing now because I know we've been throwing so much content at you lately, so you're probably sick of us.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
But Goodwill is going to be back on Friday with the Star Trekking Up North, talked about episode 6 of Picard, and I stopped in and watched him and Graham live, and again, I know I give him a lot of shit, but to sit in and listen to him and Graham nerd out so much on something that they love was just a pure joy to listen to. So anyone who's listening, check it out. It is one of the best things I've listened to in a long time. So thank you, Goodwill.
It's lovely. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I still get so much vibe coming from you and Graham. It's brilliant. So yeah, go and check out the Star Trekking, and any other past episodes are available on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
What's next Sunday then?
Top 5 deaths in movies, I think.
Get in.
So yes,
right up my avenue.
So that's going to be interesting there. So we'll see the dark side of Sammy. I'll probably make it cute and fluffy, like we did doing the other creepy episode where you and Grant took it to places where even I was scared.
When it comes to death, you will see, and death in TV as well. You will
death in
see
movies,
a
is
lot.
it? It's movies. Death in movies. This one.
And death in any visual effect. I'm gonna get sadistic with it, so it's gonna be fun.
So, yeah.
Please, if you, oh God, what was I gonna say? Patreon, yes. Please come and join us.
£2.
Pay £2 a month for extra content. We have the Game of Thrones series available at the moment, which I obviously do, and also I can't even talk, Paul. I'm too tired.
It's fine. So it's extra content. You can find it just by typing in Nerdy Up North Patreon. Are you twitching this week, you little twitch head?
Possibly Tuesday.
6:30.
6:30. Nerdy Up North Twitch channel. I believe it's part 9.
God, just finish the fucking game.
I'm trying, but someone keeps telling me to die, and then I die.
No, I don't tell you to die. I just ask if you died, and you fucking die.
There you go. Are you dead yet? As I'm plummeting to the ground in my plane. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, so potentially 6:30 p.m. Tuesday on the Nerdy Up North Twitch channel. I shall be continuing my adventures.
What about you, Sarah? You've got anything to plug?
No.
No.
Well,
I will plug.
Sorry. I was going to say Sarah will be returning. She has, like she has said, that she wants to do more of this shit. We haven't scared her off. If we haven't scared her off, just trying to think. The next time you're going to be on will be top 5 British comedies, I believe.
British comedies, yeah.
Oh, we're going from American sitcom to British comedies with you. Interesting.
So you'll be on with Grant then, so the perv will be out there.
Watch it. You've seen Grant before. You know what to expect. That's all good. That's okay. You can also find us on the Facebook community page, along with our social medias. I can't even honestly. What's the matter? There's me words on coming out. Social media, Instagram and TikTok, and we play video games on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube. That's it.
Yes. And check out our Facebook page. I think Facebook have been bastards at the moment and not showing our page to many because we went from being viewed by 1 million to 10. So
damn it. Damn you, Facebook.
I'm not paying Facebook. You can fuck off. But yes, so
Take
thank
that,
you.
Zuckerberg.
Yes, I was going to say naughty words, but I've said the one C word tonight, so that'll be good. But yes, Sarah, thank you so much for doing
Thank
this
you,
tonight.
Sarah.
I hope you've enjoyed it and not been scared off.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, bless you. She'll slag us off when we go off air, so that's fine. That's normally how it goes, isn't it? Sorry. Bit of content there. But yes, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.